All right, we're live. Hi, everyone in chat. It's the Critical Drinker here. How the hell are you all doing this evening? It's kind of a crazy stream that I'm doing tonight. Like I've reached 500,000 subscribers, and I just thought, why the hell not have a wee bit of a celebration and a few drinks in the process, and basically open my doors and invite everyone else who wants to come in. So this is pretty much where we are. We're going to kick it off tonight with Gary Nerdrotic and Doomcock. We've got a bunch of other people coming in later on. We've got MauLer and Rags. I believe Midnight's Edge are wanting to come in as well. Jay is wanting to come in from EFAP, and a few other people. So I'm going to try and manage this chaos as best I can. But anyway, yeah, I noticed that Doomcock's actually here now as well. So if you don't mind, I'll just bring him in as well, and then we can get going.
Absolutely. By the way, you're such an underachiever. Only 500,000. I'm so disappointed in you right now.
I know,
if you'd lay off, slow. If you'd lay off the sauce and really concentrate, you'd achieve great things, Critical Drinker. But
that's my fuel, though. That's what powers my creativity.
Is that your spinach?
Yeah, yeah. Without that, I'm just sitting there like, oh God, I can't think of what to talk about. The booze is what gets me going. So yeah, it's fine. It's been working okay so far, I would say. But yeah, how are you guys doing? It's great to have you both on at the moment. Sorry, I'm just going to refill my glass while we start there.
I'm drinking Lagavulin this evening or afternoon, wherever you are. Yeah, I'm hanging in, brother. I was honored to be asked to come on, and it's great to be here, man. Congratulations on 500,000 subscribers. That's almost as many. Well, that's a lot more people than I was in command of on the USS Enterprise.
My God, man. No, it's thank you. It's always good when you break out the Captain Kirk impression. So I appreciate it. And yeah, man, it's great to have you back on because we've done a few streams together, and we've had a good laugh, and it's a pleasure to have you back here. And I'm glad you were able to make it tonight because this was all thrown together pretty much last minute. I basically started approaching people this afternoon and says, hey, you want to come on? Okay, cool.
Well, it's an honor. It's an absolute honor. And it's an excuse to hit the bottle in the afternoon. So,
Excellent.
I mean, you can't go on, if unless you, of course, you are abstaining as Gary is. And I applaud you for that, Gary. If you're not, though, I mean, the fumes alone emanating from the Critical Drinker might bowl you over. So I'm inoculating myself against being knocked over by the force of his imbibing by imbibing myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's lucky we're not all actually in the same room because, I think you guys would probably be unconscious now already. So that works out better. We're separated enough that we can get on.
Yes.
Now that I have you both here, the first step of Alcoholics Anonymous is we admitted we were powerless over alcohol and that our lives have become unmanageable. I want you all to say it with me now. No, not really. My higher power is Shatner, so I could abstain, but not Epstein. So,
well, you're awesome.
Yeah, you should try not to Epstein.
Yeah, I mean, you're awesome, Gary. I mean, you are one tough customer, as we say in the States.
Well, thank you. No, I just isolate myself and don't get around people. It kind of helps a little bit, it's kind of
the thing is that, the people tried to tell me that I had a problem with booze. And I was like, look, I've got no problem with booze. I like it.
Right.
Completely manageable, and hey, you can't argue 500,000 subs, a few books. What am I going to say?
Yeah, no, it's been going okay, man. It really has. I was going to say Doomcock as well. Like I saw your post that you made about Star Trek, when you were talking about why you like it and what it meant to you over the years. And I really liked it, man. That was a really good video that you put out.
Oh, thank you, man. I felt bad. I felt like, Viacom CBS had hijacked what is authentically Star Trek's birthday. And I thought that there was a lot of negativity and the usual nonsense about Mikey Spock and this and that and phony series announcements and shaming old fans and everything. And it's like, it's very easy for a lot of people at this point to be so alienated and so hurt by the nastiness that it can make you forget why you love Star Trek in the first place. And the simple fact of the matter is, it was a bright, shining, optimistic look at the future, and it was saying at a time when humanity felt truly endangered, and I think we are to this day. It was saying we're going to make it somehow. We will become united. We will prosper. And that's a message that is sorely lacking in the world these days when we need it really the most. And Kurtzman's iteration of Star Trek is so dark and negative and hateful that I just wanted to make a statement that was positive. I wanted to make a statement of why we're fighting, why we care. They say that we're haters and we're just negative. No, we love Star Trek, and that is why, because we're seeing something we love degraded and abused. And so I had to speak out on the day of the birth of something I've loved my whole life. And thank you for watching it, man. I really appreciate it.
No, I mean, I very much echo your sentiments, and it's good to provide that counterpoint to it, because what we do when we criticize things like that is we're not doing it from a place of hatred. We're just doing it from a place of dismay. We do it because we loved that IP originally. There was things about it that we loved, and then we're criticizing it now because we're seeing it being degraded and ruined. And so, to take that time and say, well, these are the things that it meant to me when it was good. This is why I like it. It just provides that balance to everything that we do. It was the same thing as Gary and I did. When we've done streams where we talked about some of the older Star Trek movies like Wrath of Khan and Undiscovered Country, and just talking about them, like, we were getting fired up just going through it and reliving the kind of emotions that those movies stir up. And it reminds us, I guess, that it used to be really good and it could really get to you.
It was real characters that a lot of us view as family. I mean, a lot of us grew up with these characters. These characters were the only friends some of us had on the playground when we were persecuted and harassed because we loved comic books, because we loved science fiction. I mean, it wasn't always cool. That's what these normies forget. It was something that we fought for and bled for in some cases. And so to have it then taken away, and they're claiming that they're inventing humanistic values in Star Trek, that they're for the first time having a black character, having a gay character. It's a load of crap. It's just a flat out lie. And it's just sad that we have to fight to love this show, that we have to fight to say, hey, you know what? We're not haters. This is the real Star Trek. I mean, you might as well. The reason that we attack this garbage, I would draw an analogy to Invasion of the Body Snatchers. When your loved one, your wife or your husband, has been consumed by a pod and replaced, and they are now a pod person, are you a hater because you try to destroy it, set it on fire, and get rid of it? No, it's a loathsome thing that is killing or killed something that you loved. So, I mean, what is your
just
response
because
to that?
you're just prejudiced against pods, though. Clearly, you need to embrace all the glorious diversity of pod people.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh, what a podist I am.
Yeah, you podophobic. I know. No, I very much agree, and it's we do what we can to try and point out where it's going wrong and show how it used to be better, and at the moment that's the best we can hope for, really. We just have to hope that CBS and Paramount gets the message. Hopefully they will.
We individually went out on our own and just voiced our opinions, and when I started a little bit before Star Trek, but that's when the traction happened. Same with Doomcock. And it was just, I couldn't believe what was going on. And when I looked at reviews and everything in the Access media, I'm like, well, at first I thought it was me. I'm like, okay, Maybe I've just lost my taste. I didn't think so. But then we found each other. And what you just said, Drinker, was we provided the balance. And then this balance became actual competition for the Access Media. And I think we're beating them now like a drum. And we need to continue doing that, because if we are quiet, nothing will change. I don't know if anything's going to change with Star Trek. The reason we are so passionate about this is we want it to live on. And, the damage that's being done is permanent right now. And I don't think it will. God, I want to change my mind on that so badly, but I don't think so. I think the future of Star Trek is comic books and books, and that'll fade into nothing within 10 years. And it'll be just like Buck Rogers or Zorro. It's like, oh, remember that fun little old timey sci-fi show that was around for 50 years we used to like that's now dead? Yeah, I remember that. That was fun. We want it to continue. It's an easy template to copy if you're talented. And clearly the people behind this aren't talented. They don't like Star Trek. They won't bring in people who do. When they do have a competent writer come in, they run them out right after they talk about how much they love diversity, right, Walter Mosley? So yeah, they're a bunch of
Yep.
They're a bunch of liars and phonies, Gary. And we call them on it, and they hate it. And I tell you what, I think the greatest ally we have, the greatest weapon we have in this battle is humor. It's absolutely humor, because they cannot process it. They cannot stand it. They cannot handle being mocked. Look at Gina Carano. I just put out a video about her tweets. She went ahead and put her pronouns as bop boop, which has driven them insane.
I wondered where that had come from, actually. Like, I kept seeing bebop boop everywhere. And it's like, what the fuck does that mean?
It means that she is self-identifying as bebop boop. And the thing is, all of these woke wankers, okay, cannot stand the mockery. And they are falling on her with the wrath of a thousand demons unleashed from SJW hell, because she dared to go ahead and define herself the way she wants to define herself, which I thought was the whole point. I absolutely support LGBTQ plus rights, because I think it's a fundamental right to not only love who you love, but also to identify yourself the way you want to be identified. I think that is just fundamental, but they are assaulting her and denying her the right to do the same. They are up in arms because she is choosing to craft her Twitter profile in a certain way that they don't like, that doesn't play into their agenda. And so she has to be shamed, even though they purport to love strong females like Captain Marvel and Mikey Spock and all this stuff. But here's a real life strong woman who is not bending the knee, and that's intolerable. She has to be crushed.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, they are used to, beating people like her. They'll take them on and they will pummel them into submission and get them to bend the knee. But she just kind of chooses to not play the game. And she's just like, yeah, you can say whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Like, what are you going to do to me? And because of that, they've got no ammunition against her all of a sudden. When you've got someone who just decides, I don't care. If you're offended, if you're enraged by me, I don't care. You can't do anything to me. And that's the position she's able to take now. And it makes her bulletproof. And I just think it's a smart move.
Yep. And she used humor, which is intolerable. Absolute satire.
Yeah.
Bebop boop. They could not process it. They cannot take it. Humor is our greatest weapon. I'm telling you.
I did give her the option to come in on this stream tonight, by the way. I sent a message on Twitter. I can't imagine she will, but just in case, Gina, you're welcome to come in.
You will find the water's warm and friendly here. The wind's gentle.
When we were talking about Star Trek there, and you gave me your Shatner impression, which was fantastic. I'm really excited because I'm actually going to be seeing him in March next year. He's coming over to Edinburgh to do a special screening of Wrath of Khan. And you can do a meet and greet with him afterwards. So I'm going to go see him.
Awesome. I've seen it. I've actually been to his presentation of Wrath of Khan. And the man was amazing. I mean, after the movie, he literally talked to us for an hour. It was like an hour's presentation. And he was funny, and he told stories that I hadn't heard endlessly, because I've watched him many times at many conventions, taped and so on, once live. And sometimes he tells the same stories. This time, not really. It was really awesome. What a guy.
No, absolutely. And, it was only because we did a stream a few weeks ago and someone in chat mentioned it. It's like, hey, Shatner's going to be over in Edinburgh like next year. There's still tickets. You should go for it. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. That sounds like a good idea. So I will. And I kind of figured, like, he's almost 90. Like, he's not going to be around forever. If I'm ever going to meet him, it would be a good time to do it now. So hopefully I will.
Absolutely. I tell him Doomcock said hello if you would, and watch him turn pale. Doomcock, he follows me everywhere. I don't even know who this guy is.
Well, he's another one who just, again, on Twitter doesn't give a shit, and he takes absolutely no prisoners. And if you piss him off, like, he will let you know about it. And I just think that's awesome. Like, I want to be 90 years old and just raging at people, and putting the world to rights.
That's right, man. That's the only way to do it.
Well, there are no F's to give at that point, really. Yep. And take your opportunity to see him. I saw him last year too. It was great, just for like a second. It cost a fortune too, but it was nice. Yeah. It was good. Mrs. Nerdrotic got a picture with him on the bridge. Well, pretty good version of the bridge of the old Enterprise. The dude's brilliant. He had the best tweet this year with the "I think I'm hot" with the girl version of him. I like that one. And then speaking of Gina, she had the second best tweet this year. Yesterday, when somebody told her to admit that she was a transphobe and she should just move on, and she shot back, "You're a transphobe, just move on." It was freaking brilliant. So, and today, the first time I started noticing the kerfuffle with Gina, she put up that picture of the guy like not saluting with all the Yahtzees, and had a little circle around it. She was comparing the people who were trying to force her to put her pronouns in. And I shot something back at Gina today, and somebody put that picture under my tweet saying it's like Inception level Twitter going on right now with her, and they are just trying to kill her right now. And it's great seeing her stand up. So she is a hero of the people.
Amen.
Looking forward to the Cara Dune show for sure.
Yeah, very much so. I'll be interested to see where they take it in season 2, actually. Now that the show has proven to be a success, are the higher ups at Lucasfilm going to try and muscle their way into it and try and inject their usual bullshit into it, or are they going to be able to protect it?
Well, if you believe Grace Randolph, there are some problems, and it's supposed to take some kind of hard turn halfway through the season, and they're thinking of doing Game of Thrones style storytelling where you're following different characters for a certain period of time, which I don't know is going to work in a half an hour TV show with 8 episodes. So that was the thing about it was good because it was streamlined and it was kind of simple. I don't want to say simplistic, but you know what I mean? Like there was a kind of like simple story structure to it, and it was nice and tightly focused. Whereas if you start branching out, like you kind of need longer episodes to give it room to breathe. Yeah, I thought it would be way more sophisticated. Well, not sophisticated. I thought it would be a little deeper than it was. It was like a live action cartoon. And it wasn't like offensively bad or anything. And I know a lot of people like it. I was just kind of mediocre on it.
That's what I heard, Gary. I mean, I only watched the first one, and I was like, okay, well, it's meh, but I'm going to watch the rest of them before season 2. But look, here's some of the pitfalls of season 2 that are possible. It could go very woke, which would be bad. It could also, and this would be fatal, try to integrate stuff that leads into the Disney sequel trilogy. Try to justify Palpatine, garbage like that coming back. That would be awful. Buying into, Ruin Johnson's vision of things in The Last Jedi and in other ways. How about Rey popping up as a little kid or something?
Oh man, I think
That'd be-
Daisy Ridley is done with this stuff. Now there is actually a man waiting backstage who might be able to clue us in on some of this. Andre from Midnight's Edge is here as well, and he may know a little bit more about what may be happening in season 2. But we can bring him in, and if that's all right with you guys, have a chat with him, see how he's getting on.
Hail, Andre.
Cool.
Greetings,
Hello, good
everyone.
sir.
Thanks for having me.
Hail.
No problem at all, man.
Andre.
And, hey, for my friends, it's nice to speak with you again. And Drinker, congratulations on your massive success. Well earned.
Thank you very much. It's great to be, I guess, doing well like this, and it's good to know that people are enjoying my channel. So I'll just try and keep it up, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of your channel, as you well know. So it's a pleasure to be here and to talk some Star Wars, which everyone knows I don't really care too much about other than the politics. And about that, referring to your earlier discussion before we move on to season 2, how awesome is Gina Carano? She's like the one hero in Hollywood. Like, celebrities need to be cancelled, every single one of them, apart from Gina Carano, because she is willing to stand up where everyone else bends the knee in submission. So if there ever was someone that really embodied the values of Star Wars, it's her.
Well, you know what's great as well is like she, is a person who had to work really hard to get to where she is. Getting into women's UFC, like you're going to have to train hard, you're going to have to fight hard to rise to the kind of level that she did, and then to transition from that into movies. Again, not an easy thing to do, because people are going to look at you and think, well, you're a fighter, you're not an actor. And it's not always an easy thing to move from one to the other. But again, she's found a way to do that. She's done some action movies. She's been in the Fast and the Furious, done pretty well there, and now she's got this kind of niche within Star Wars. And that creates a kind of personality of a person who does work hard and does set a high bar for themselves and doesn't expect things to be handed to them. And so doesn't have much tolerance for other people who do want those things. And that is a good thing. We need more people like that. We need more actors like that who don't want to be like, political activists, who don't want to bow down to the mob, who just, stick to their guns and work hard and get things done. And yeah, I think she's kind of a unique combination of different things that you don't see very often now.
Absolutely. And that's what's so awesome about her. As you say, she's someone that is genuine. Like, she's no Rey who is one Rey who can do everything. Yeah, Cara Dune can kick your ass, and that's well earned, because Gina Carano can kick your ass. In terms of that transition from fighter, whether it being boxing, wrestling, or what have you not, to acting, all you really need is some level of charisma. And then it's just a matter of finding the right roles. And luckily she has that charisma. And she's gotten the right roles. And as a pure bonus, she's even has like really good, solid opinions, rather than just like parroting the drivel that's popular within the industry. She hasn't sold out her integrity, for lack of a better word. And that, I think, is awesome and something to be celebrated.
Yeah, we needed somebody like this. We've been asking for someone like this in Hollywood to speak up, and people have, but not a star of a Star Wars show. And for her to come out and do this, it's going to be very interesting to see how Disney handles it. Now, they've let Rian Johnson go out there and attack the fans, and they validated it by not doing anything. Well, you better treat Gina the same way then.
Exactly.
We'll see.
What I think is like so disturbing with how Disney's been handling all of this is actually Marvel Comics and the Marvel writers, which are really comic book writers. Like, DC is pretty much the same drivel, how they all go and want to cancel each other on Twitter, and they basically act like unprofessional buffoons, and they bring the entire comic book industry down. And Marvel and Disney just looks the other way, why they act like utter psychos while in Disney employ. to me, that's unbelievable. But I can only imagine that that must be condoned because they're expressing the right opinions. And here Gina Carano is expressing opinions which absolutely are not what Disney appears to be behind. At the same time, though, what Disney has supported and stood behind is kind of backfiring, both within society at large and especially with Mulan. And I'm working on a post-mortem for that right now in this moment, and the backlash of that is just getting started. So, oh, by the way, I gently enjoyed your video on that, Drinker. So again, congratulations on another video that absolutely knocked it out of the park. So
thanks, man. I mean, honestly, I just had a laugh making that video. That movie is cursed, I swear. Somewhere in some corner of the world, a voodoo priest has put a curse on Mulan because, like, everything that could possibly have gone wrong with a film has gone wrong with that one. You know,
it's like a Murphy's Law, the movie.
Yeah, you shouldn't film your film near those camps that aren't very fun. We'll just say that.
Yeah, I never liked Mulan anyway. I didn't like the source material. I haven't seen the feature. I'm just not interested. I'm so sick and tired of remakes, reboots, especially live action remakes of animated classics. I
hate them all.
Over it. Yeah,
very much, because you're taking all these movies, like I guess all of these animated films came from like that golden age of Disney, from the late 80s to like the late 90s, when they really went through a renaissance and they got their shit together, produced some fantastic films. They were great. You don't need to improve upon them. You can't. You know, you don't need to remake them because they got it right first time. And it's just it smacks of complete like lack of creativity. Where it's like, right, we don't need to bother like coming up with a new story. We'll just tell the same one again.
But it's even worse than that. I view this essentially, and I'm not exaggerating, as cultural child abuse, because what you're going to have is whole generations of kids from now moving forward that are going to be cheated out of a wonderful, wonderful event in their lives to see something like The Little Mermaid, to see something like Aladdin, a charming, beautiful cartoon that would truly put a smile on their face and a song in their heart for the rest of their lives, because these are classic films. And they're going to see, chances are 50-50 or better, the shoddy knockoff. And they're going to be deprived of something that is like a birthright, the right to be entertained by something brilliant.
I think their parents, though, because their parents will now be of our generation who kind of grew up watching these movies as kids, and so those are the ones that they're going to want to show to them. So it may be that they avoid it to some extent. The parents will just be like, no, fuck this modern crap, like I'm going to show them the classic movies that I saw, you know, because I think that's what the previous generation wants to do. They always want to pass on the things that they enjoyed and experienced when they were young, and to see them appreciated by the next generation.
I stand behind that, and that's exactly what I intend to do with my own kids. And to that end, like, I already have all of the Walt Disney Treasure box sets that were released on DVD in the early 2000s, meaning that I have like 95% of every single Disney short ever produced between 1921 and 1956, which was when they stopped making them, plus all of the original movies and everything like that. And that is what my kids are going to be reared upon as soon as they're old enough for it. And like, my kids are 2 and 4 right now, and they've already seen some of them. They've all been reared on like some stuff like Pinocchio and the original Aladdin, Frozen, which is one of the newer, but also like Snow White and Cinderella and some of the classics like that. It's gone down really, really well. And so, yeah, it's important for parents to expose their children to proper culture and the best of what's been made, because Lord knows Disney Channel isn't going to do it.
But the problem is that you're aware of this, Andre. And I mean, you're a very intelligent man with taste, but the problem is a lot of parents just treat the TV or DVDs as babysitters.
Mhm.
And whatever's on, they'll go ahead and throw it on. So I think that there's a significant portion of the young population that will absolutely be exposed to these shitty, shoddy knockoffs before they have a chance. And it'll ruin it for them. It really will. It will impact their experience of these movies forever.
I think you're right in that sense that there's definitely a danger there. If you're kind of just, yeah, like you say, if you're just like, oh, I'll put whatever's on TV and let them watch that, and you're not making that conscious effort to say, right, we're going to sit down together and we're going to watch this classic Disney movie, and I think you're going to get a real kick out of it, then yeah, there's definitely a chance they're going to see that. I mean, the thing that stuck out for me with this new Mulan, and I picked up on this in my review, is just like the really shitty moral message that it brings across. You know, the original movie, you know, whether people liked it or not, it gave you a good wholesome message in that, you know, you might not always start in the best position in life. You might not always be ideally suited to whatever it is you're trying to do. But by working hard and by like applying yourself and showing resilience and determination, you know, you can win over people and you can win respect and you can succeed. You might not be the absolute best at everything, but you can definitely do well through hard work. Whereas the new movie, like for some reason, Mulan is just great. Like she's a Rey Skywalker of China. You know, she's got like some power. She's like the chosen one, and she can like do all this crazy like Matrix style kung fu stuff just because. And it's like, what are you teaching kids here? You're teaching kids like, nah, you're just amazing. You don't have to try. You don't have to work. You're just entitled to success. You're entitled to wealth. You're entitled to power. You know, you're entitled to all this stuff in life. You don't have to work for it. You just get it. Like, no, that's not how life works. And that's not how the world works. You know, you're setting up an entire generation of kids for absolute failure once they get into the real world and they have to work for things. You know, it's just, I don't know why they would do stuff like that. I don't know what they're trying to approve.
Well,
Good point,
you know what? Yeah, and you know what?
That's we're seeing the result of that right now on the streets of America. Portland is a whole city filled with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give us stuff, give us money, give us services and things. Like, we don't want to pay for them, and if you don't give us it, we're just going to smash up everything.
Yep.
Great.
And by the way, we're also wonderful that we have to see ourselves on screen or we feel slighted. We have to see ourselves directly represented on screen because it's all about me, me, me.
Yeah.
And you know what I thought was so amazing as well with that message that you just said? This is a movie that is in very much large part funded by China, and it's basically Chinese propaganda, because that's how you get Chinese co-funding and a proper Chinese release where you get more than like 10% of the revenue. How on earth did they think that message was going to play in China?
No.
If they thought for 1 second that the Chinese audiences were going to be like, woohoo, representation, then my God, they got another thing coming. No wonder the movie flopped there. What the hell did they think was going to happen?
First thing I think of Shy-Com related to that is intersectional feminism. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of that government. So yeah, that was that. And they
no, they're quite equality. Like, they're into equality. They oppress everyone equally, I think.
That's right. And your stream just got ghosted.
Yeah. Wait, why is there a laser sight pointing at my head right now? There's someone in the bushes out there. Oh fuck!
Uh-oh. It's maybe the local distiller. You're behind on your payments. I mean, it must be quite a hefty fee.
They'll never catch up to me. No, but Andrea, we were like, I know we were talking a little bit earlier about the Mandalorian season 2 and where it could potentially go. I don't know if you know much of the politics behind what's going on there at Lucasfilm, whether like Kathleen and her terrible chums are going to want to get their claws into it, or whether they're kind of protected from her.
I know that she got a little bit something into it. Because she still has that or at least when this was being written, and that's like the thing, it doesn't matter right now because this was like written months and months and months ago, and at that time she still had some influence on it. Not much influence, but she was able to force some things into it. Exactly what she forced into it, that I do not know. And it has me slightly concerned, because you know what she's all about. And any kind of influence from her is for apparently Baby Yoda, or at least it was partially her idea. So not everything has to be bad. But even a broken clock is like right twice a day. So I'm a little bit concerned with that. Other than that, I do not know any specifics. I know that there apparently is some kind of like narrative shift in the series. Exactly what kind of narrative shift it's going to be, who is going to be the point of view character after that point, I don't know. If they were smart, it would be Cara Dune, but I don't know any details. Doomcock, do you know something I don't?
My sources have been sending me some information that we're looking into. I haven't heard anything, Andre, about any narrative shift. So I don't know about that, but I have heard some other things. One thing in particular that's quite concerning, but I'm looking into it. But no, nothing about narrative shift. That's very interesting. I'd be interested to see what you guys are going to come out with on that.
Yeah, I'm not making any video before I know more details, that I have like something solid. Basically, that's all I've heard, that there's some kind of narrative shift. And those were the exact words given to me. The details of exactly what that means, I don't know. If and when I learn more about it, I'll be happy to share it. But
you guys should totally collab, by the way. You could have like a Midnight's Edge Doom Cop collaboration. Like
we
Doom
should.
Edge or Midnight Doom or something.
Absolutely. I mean, I have said this many times, and if you'll allow me, Critical Drinker, to say it one more time on your amazing audience, I think Midnight's Edge is one of the best channels on YouTube. I think that they are kind of like the 60 Minutes of the Fandom Menace. I mean, I don't have the resources to verify lots of things. I hear things, I check them out as best I can. I do report them as rumors, and more often than not, there is some validity to them. But then it's always a great comfort to me when Andre and Tom and Rob at Midnight's Edge do the digging, do the cross-referencing, and validate or refine things that I've said. I just think you guys are great, and I love you. Just saying it.
Awesome. Likewise.
Here.
Mutual.
Yeah. No, you guys, I mean, you know, the way you present your channel, like it's done in a very kind of neutral, like unbiased way and a very analytical way. And I think, it just has that real kind of sense of authority about it. I know you guys wouldn't put out something unless you were pretty sure that it was valid. And so it's always a good benchmark. If Midnight's Edge are kind of reporting on this, then it's probably a good chance that it's right. And I know for a fact, like I pretty much watch all your videos when they come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's much appreciated.
Absolutely. And I'm guessing that narrative focus will be off The Mandalorian and on Ahsoka Tano or Cara Dune, which I wouldn't be against. But hopefully she won't have an untimely death in season 2.
Depends what Gina says. Yeah, depends what Gina says on Twitter. By the way, like I didn't want to say it, but chat has totally gone there. It's like your collab should be called Midnight Cock.
Midnight Cock. We must do Midnight Cock. Yes,
absolutely.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Midnight Cock after dark.
Midnight Cock after dark.
No,
I'll do it as like a smooth kind of Venus flytrap kind of a voice,
Yeah,
like
there you go.
KRP. We're going out after dark, and we're going to get some romance going on here. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I'd be up for that anytime. So yeah, let's talk about it. I'd be very, very much open for a collaboration where we can like pool our resources and break something really, really cool rather than us having to refine your earlier reporting. So,
well, yeah, I mean, that's because, like I said, I do have excellent sources, and a lot more often than not, I'm right. But
you are.
It always gives me a lot of emotional comfort. It's like Captain Kirk. why do you question me on matters that you've always made your mind up on? It gives me emotional comfort. That's how it is with you guys. You're awesome. I'm just saying.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, I'd be
I
very,
mean,
very happy for increased collaborations.
you, Doomcock, you must have felt really good after Rise of Skywalker came out, and we started hearing more and more about how the movie actually was put together and the problems in production. Pretty much everything that you reported on, around the end of last year has been proven right.
It was gratifying. It was very gratifying when the shot of Palpatine shooting lightning into the air got leaked online, and it was like, well, guess what? I had just leaked something that I thought was incredible. I mean, I was like, Jesus, I guess I'm going to say this because it's what my sources are telling me, that he actually zaps the Rebel fleet in orbit. This was from one of the test screenings that they still deny to this day happened. But how the hell did I know that then? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just funny. And the weird part about this latest Rey revelation, honest to God, guys, when I read that, I almost didn't make a video about it because it was like, well, shit, I know. And it was like, does anybody have any doubts? And everyone's like all up in arms about it. I'm like, really? You guys, honestly, at this point, didn't understand this? Well, I guess I'm going to make a video about it and take a victory lap. But honestly, it just felt like old news to me. It's like, I already knew this. I already told you guys this. What are you, crazy? Midnight's Edge pretty much verified it. What are you still talking about it? So anyway, it is a very comforting thing, but still it's weird. It's such a weird thing. I don't understand.
Yeah. And what's your thoughts still on the Lucas cut?
It exists.
Yeah.
It exists.
And did you think it exists in a watchable format?
Yes. Yeah, it does. The only, I mean,
I have the answer to that.
I have been told, okay, I have been told that I should stop pursuing the Lucas cut information. It's so highly sensitive at this point that if I go ahead and spill more stuff about it, they're going to be very unhappy, and they're going to get their own people. I mean, basically is what they said they'd do. They'd go ahead and clamp down, and it's just not. I think they might think about releasing it. I don't think they know what to do with it, but it exists, and I don't know. I've tried to find out the details. And I've gone down some false paths. I do know a few hard facts about it, but it exists, folks. Andre, don't you think it exists?
I know it exists.
Yeah.
That is, I have heard it from so many sources
Yeah.
that not only does it exist, but also what state that it is in and what would be required to make it releasable. And this is no Snyder cut situation where basically what they had was an assembly cut, which was like, or a rough cut that was basically like a work print that only needed special effects, but those special effects were freaking expensive. It's no situation like that at all, because many of the effects were done. That's part of the reason why this movie was so expensive, because like it was filmed in a way where basically you have like much of the special effects to go already, and then they done loads of work on it, then they went back and changed things and stuff like that. So basically what you'd have to do is that you'd have to finish up some of the effects and then render out the whole thing. It's like 95% finished. It would be like a $5 million investment, maybe, to
almost nothing. And look at the return, dude. Look at the return.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, because the hatred for Rise of Skywalker is kind of coming from every corner. People who love TLJ hated it. People who were already soured on the Disney sequel trilogy hated it as well, just because it was more of the same. Nobody liked it. So if you can produce a version where it's like, okay, this is more true to George Lucas's vision, from the genius mind of George Lucas himself comes the Lucas cut. Yeah. You're going to make money off it, for sure.
But that's not the issue. That's not the issue, though. They know that they would earn loads of money. But again, it's the same thing as with the Snyder cut, because here's like the thing that the business people would be very happy, like the shareholders would be happy to see it, but the people actually holding the decisions, they would look really, really bad if they spent all that money on the theatrical cut of the movie, and then they release the Lucas cut, and everyone loves that instead. Well, that means that they wasted maybe $200-300 for nothing. Heads are going to roll. Careers are going to be ended. Like, just look at what did it take to release the Snyder Cut. It took another corporate entity coming in and buying basically the entire company. And then that's someone that basically says that, you know what, we don't care about whatever mistakes you guys did before. You guys in Warner and DC, you're going to pay for this. But now we make the decision that this is the way we're going to want to go. So basically, someone else came in and overruled the powers that be that wanted to suppress it. That's where we are at Disney right now. There's not one single person there who wants to see the Lucas cut released. If we're getting another cut, as we and my associate Tom pointed out, we're going to be getting the J.J. Abrams cut, which is basically a longer version of the movie we already got.
Yeah.
Because there's no political ill will within Lucasfilm of releasing that. But you have way, way too many people in the swamp, for lack of a better term, that has something to lose by seeing the Lucas cut released. And for that reason, you basically have to drain the swamp of Disney and Lucasfilm before that can happen.
I have
drain
questions.
the swamp. Hey, it sounds good.
Yeah, they would have to drain. I'm sorry, guys. I have major questions about the Lucas cut. Like, was he there the whole time cutting the film, or was this just his cutting the ending?
No, he had new material.
This a rewrite? Yeah, this a
he had
rewrite
new material,
from Lucas?
Gary. He was shooting it.
He was shooting it because there's a lot of conjecture out there. Lucas doesn't live in California part of the time. He lives in Chicago part time. And there's other things. So I don't know. Maybe he was there at the end. Listen, I have no information, none whatsoever. I have none. I'm just thinking about how Disney does things. They don't admit mistakes. They're not AT&T. And that's why. And I honestly don't know. Does it redo The Last Jedi? Because that's the one I have the problem with. There was no fixing it after that. Unless they like radically change Luke's story. It would be something I'd be interested in. They'd probably make some money off it, but I don't see the same hunger for any more Star Wars right now, like I saw with the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut's so much different because there's a personal story attached to it with Zack Snyder, whether you like it or not. The guy got screwed by Warner Brothers during the darkest moment of his life. And that even turned people who didn't like the movie very much into fans, me included, because I wanted to see that guy get justice. Not that that movie was great by any stretch of the imagination, but he deserved that. He deserved to have his vision out. Lucas got screwed too from the beginning. Absolutely. But, if you think about it a little bit, he screwed himself by making an emotional decision and selling Star Wars to Disney. So I think it's a completely different situation, and I have never seen Disney admit a mistake. And they have to go a long way to repair this fandom, because it's one thing to screw up a franchise. And we said it last night, Doomcock, they have to repair a fandom, a fandom that they split. People love to put that on us. We don't have that kind of power. We just speak our opinions. People have gravitated to each channel here for whatever reason, because they didn't feel like they were being heard or whatever. But as far as Star Wars is concerned, F a Lucas cut, man. How about an apology to the entire fandom from Kathleen Kennedy, or at least an acknowledgement that, yeah, we exacerbated this situation. We signed off on this crap with Rian Johnson going out there and Disney employees going out there and attacking fans, which absolutely is a part of this. It goes way deeper than the narrative of a film. I mean, they're just three bad films that are unfixable, in my opinion, at this time. It would have to be a completely reshot movie with a different bad guy. And maybe that stuff's out there. Cool. I'd probably see it to review it, but how many people are that interested? And maybe I'm wrong about that, but I just don't see it would be profitable for Disney, and it would make them look extremely bad to do that kind of stuff. And and Jar Jar Abrams, and listen, the politics that you brought up, Andre, are really important to these people, not to us, but to them, and making Jar Jar look bad. So that's my boy Jar Jar Abrams. After he went back, when he said he didn't want to go back, would make them look even worse. And
as I said, that's the reason why a release of the Jar Jar cut is much, much more likely than a release of the Lucas cut at this juncture. Sorry, did not mean to interrupt. Carry on.
No, go on. No, that's it. I think it's politics. Yeah. Disney, whether it exists or not, Disney would never do it. I would be shocked.
Yeah, it needs a severe draining of the entire swamp to the very highest levels. Like Bob Chapek, in principle, could do it, but really it should be like yet another generation removed. Because like he's too close to Iger on even that one, because that would make Iger retroactively look good. So really, like the first person I would imagine to make such a decision would be whoever comes after the current one. It's gonna be a long time before the swamp is so drained. Alternatively, that they're bought by yet another corporate entity, like similar to AT&T, that never made the mistake themselves and they just want to fix things. Because that's what happened with the Lucas cut. That's the only reason it's getting released. Had it not been for the AT&T acquisition, that would have been buried forever.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They were working on it apparently, but you're right. I think the stars aligned for that one, and I think who knows, if Disney keeps going downhill and maybe they sell it. Sure, I could definitely see something different happening. They would have to.
I don't know if they'll ever release it, but it exists, and it is substantially different in terms of key details that George Lucas had. Basically, look, he saw what they were doing, and he said, I have a great idea to fix this. And he got the chance to run with it. And all I can say is that I've had many passionate people talking about how, my God, I mean, this thing was like night and day. I don't know what he did. I don't know the details, but I do know that on the purported test screenings, which people scoffed at, and yet that was the same video where they talked about Palpatine shooting lightning into the air and stuff. The Lucas cut scored the highest out of all of them, and significantly. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly buy into the idea that it's better than what we got. I guess my issue is like, well, look, we've seen what happens when George Lucas is given carte blanche to write and direct Star Wars movies, as opposed to the original trilogy where he's just the ideas man, but more competent people are kind of doing the nuts and bolts of putting together the movie. Once you get to the prequels and George gets too much power, you end up with movies that have great intentions but are really badly executed. And so it makes me think, okay, how well can he execute a Star Wars movie where he's trying to pick up the pieces of like two terrible films, especially being out of the game from making movies for like the past 10 years at least. Like, realistically, how good of a job could he have done with something like that? I guess that's the only question mark I have over it.
I have a suggested answer to that. Let's to be clear about one thing. The Lucas cut, even from what I'm hearing, by in and of its own, is no masterpiece. That's not the movie that's going to change anything. It's just a hell of a lot better than what we ultimately got there. Now, as for how good can he possibly be, like, as people that listen to Midnight's Edge knows, I am not a fan of Star Wars. I didn't grow up with it. It really doesn't do anything to me. I just analyze the business aspect of it. But I have no emotional investment in it. And yeah, it's true. On the original trilogy, his involvement was that of co-collaborator, idea man and co-collaborator, and you had other people that were basically holding him in check, helping him put a workable story out of it. Like, for instance, if you've read some of his original scripts for the story, they're unreadable almost. But with collaboration, he was able to do a pretty fine job at it. Likewise with the sequel trilogy, where he was completely unchecked. That's kind of a big mess. There are some big ideas there, some very good ideas, but the execution is lacking. But still, he's an idea man. And what we have here with the final movie of the sequel trilogy that he then had, like, for a while the most input in, is basically here you have like the story set, you have like some basic things which are set, an outline is set, that can't be changed. But what you can do is you can have an idea man come in and do some little tweaks here, some little tweaks there, and some little tweaks there that will take it from something absolutely hopeless to something not completely hopeless, maybe not good, because that may not be possible, but the right idea man can lift it a little bit. And that's what the Lucas cut is. It's just a little bit lifted from the horror that it otherwise would have been and ended up being. And for coming up with the right ideas, again, that's exactly the kind of thing that Lucas excels at, being an idea man. So I think that right there, he was exactly the right guy. Would he be the right guy to come up with a sequel trilogy all of his own? No, he absolutely would not. For that, he would need a team around him so that he could, again, function as an idea man, come up with the gist of a story, then have someone else come and write the bulk of the story, and then he can come in again as an idea man and tweak it to make it better. Because when someone else has put everything else in place, then he can see, okay, do that, and then everything will be just that little bit better.
Absolutely.
That's the sad thing, because it makes you wonder, like, what might have been if he just, because I guess he got burned with the prequels. You know, I know that the reaction to that was pretty intense for quite a long time, and I guess that burned Lucas on the whole idea of making more Star Wars movies. But then, yeah, he could have removed himself from the entire process a little bit, and like you say, just gone back to being the ideas guy. Other people would write the scripts, and then you would get really competent directors in to to direct it. And you know, he's just there. He's kind of overseeing the whole thing, rather than just saying, "Nah, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna like sell it to Disney and let myself get like put into a contract where I've got absolutely no creative control over anything. I'm a consultant that they can choose to ignore." You know, he must have realized that, well, if he produced ideas that they didn't like, they were just going to ignore him. And so they were going to do their own thing. And it was pretty much all just a show so that they could start pumping their own like vision of Star Wars out. You know, and it's frustrating because I see him as a good-natured man who was trying to do a good thing, but ultimately just became lazy. And just went into that "I don't care anymore" mentality.
Yeah,
and that's a real shame.
Yeah, the real shame though is that he actually did care a little bit, and he did install someone that he thought was going to protect his vision. That's the tragedy. The person that he installed, the person that he thought was going to be his representative.
Yes, someone in chat's actually summed this up perfectly when they said, "Never put yourself in a position to be ignored by Kathleen Kennedy."
Yes.
That sums it up perfectly.
Yeah. He trusted her to protect his vision, because everyone needs to be clear about this. Kathleen Kennedy is not a Disney hire. She was hired by George Lucas just before the deal went through, and the reason he hired her or appointed her was specifically so that she would act as her or as his person on the inside, preserving his vision and intention for Star Wars. And the moment that the training wheels were off, the moment that she had the opportunity to do so, she stabbed him in the back and basically decided to use Star Wars as a platform.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, I made a video about Kathleen Kennedy a while back when she did the whole Leslie Headland thing about a female-centric Star Wars movie, and I was like, I want to get an understanding of how she really got into this position. And so, when I did a bit of research on her career and stuff, I realized, like, my God, this woman just like rode the coattails of much more talented people, like pretty much her whole career. When I actually realized what she did, and it was like, yep, she got in with Steven Spielberg really early, and she became a producer on his movies. You know, he was so good at making films by that point that like I could be a producer and they would still end up good.
Yep.
You know, she fell in with George Lucas again because like he was friends with Steven Spielberg and he was popular, and you know, she ended up like winning his trust over, and she just like insinuated herself into that position of being head of Lucasfilm without having really proved herself as an organization person that can oversee a huge creative vision like that. You know, and not to say that she's completely useless. Like she obviously had some kind of skill, but not the kind of competency needed to do something like this. And yeah, like the politics, I guess, were something that she kept under wraps until she got into that sweet position of power.
Yeah,
You know,
Tom has audio of Spielberg saying she's a terrible secretary. Now,
Yeah.
you know what skills she did have? Why she was hired? What I've heard.
I'm not sure we should say.
Yeah,
Oh!
Ooh.
I'll keep it very YouTube friendly. The skills that she had, apparently, this is what I've heard, is that Frank Marshall really wanted to bring her on, and exactly why he wanted that, I'll leave for all of you to decide. But basically, Frank Marshall, who eventually later married her, he was the one that really brought her on. And Steven Spielberg, he didn't really need Kathleen Kennedy, but he needed Frank Marshall, because the hidden eight, the right-hand man of Steven Spielberg, was Frank Marshall. And so in order to keep Frank Marshall, his right-hand man and creative partner, he also brought in Kathleen Kennedy. Because that way Frank Marshall was happy, and a happy Frank Marshall is a happy creative partner for Steven Spielberg.
yeah,
Yep, pretty much.
Frank Marshall was a big deal. I remember knowing his name as a kid. I mean, how many kids memorize producer names or editor names, except for us nerds? So yeah, he was a big deal. He had a cameo in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
So she was able to maneuver herself into that position. And as you said, Drinker, if you're working with Frank Marshall and Steven Spielberg, and the two of them are working together, and you happen to be there along for the ride, and of course, maybe she does some producing. Maybe she's like calling the New York office and having a bridge sold off. And also what Steven Spielberg said was that she was lousy at taking notes. She was lousy at everything. What she was really good at was injecting herself into the conversation and basically just coming up with random crap, like just throwing up one shit idea after the other. and he didn't even say that they used any of those shit ideas. But maybe she was like, okay, let's try to like throw a cat in there. And he was like, okay, maybe not a cat, but a dog.
Yeah, see, this is what pisses me off, when it's like someone who clearly has no like real intelligence, but like they just like you say, they jump in with shit like that, and because people like them, or they're good at pleasing people, shall we say, you know, they get labeled as like, oh, they're good at speaking their minds and standing up for themselves and putting in interesting ideas. It's like, yeah, but like you say, if their ideas are shit, what's the point in them being there? Like, we can all come up with shit ideas like all day long. It doesn't make us like, you know, viable candidates to become like the president of Lucasfilm.
No, and the secrets, I mean, it's no secret. The one thing she was put in charge of, she screwed up like it perfectly. I mean, you had to try to screw up this badly, to mess up. I mean, no plan for Star Wars at all. And you know, and now they're not going to fire her because she's got boobs. That's it. And they don't want to look bad, and they're going to stick with this as long as they can. She hired her story group to have no plan. And and her Baby Yoda idea. What is good? The galaxy too, and get Baby Groot. Hey, that worked. Let's do Baby Yoda. You know.
Yeah, I mean, what is good is that she is old, and so she is going to have to retire at some point, and I believe her contract is up next year.
Yeah.
So I'd be amazed if they renewed that. Like, they want her out.
Well, that's been the rumors that I've reported, is that they're not going to. But we will see, because the situation is very fluid over there. And I think, honestly, Disney doesn't know what to do. They just don't know what the fuck to do. And it's a lot of competing voices and a lot of paralysis in terms of we just don't know what to do. And I don't know what's going to happen. But that's been the predominant rumor, that, look, they know that she's fucked up and they want her out.
Yep.
Yeah, that echoes what we've heard. And until she's out, she'll still be there. She'll serve out her contract, as we've been saying since day one. She's not gonna get fired, but she will be sidelined, and that she has been, where she has like some limited influence, but not all that much. The one that's running the show on Star Wars right now is Jon Favreau, with some help.
And he's the guy who needs to be there.
Yes,
he seems to have a much better grasp of how to run it. Now, one thing I was going to say, guys, I know that a couple of you guys, like Doomcock and Nerdrotic, you kind of were a bit limited on time in how long you could be on tonight. I do have MauLer and Rags who are ready to jump in whenever, really. I don't know how much time you've got left, or...
I can bow out right now for the great MauLer and Rags, and
me too. I think that they should come in together, and I've got some plans coming up here at 5, so I got to probably run. But man, I'm honored to be here, Critical Drinker, and congratulations, well deserved, on 500,000 subscribers. That's fantastic.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to your next video.
Thank you, sir. And I look forward to you and I doing a stream sometime in the near future.
Excellent. Yeah, we've got some things in the works. So stay tuned.
And guys, always a pleasure to talk to you on any stream, and I'll be happy to work with you anytime on anything. And Drinker, I'm good for another 15 minutes. So yeah,
nice one. We'll keep you on while Rags and MauLer come in, and Gary and Doomcock sort of pull out of this one.
Thanks
and we want to see more Midnight Cock as well.
We'll see if we can make it happen.
Yeah, I'm sure that can be arranged.
Yeah, nice one, man. Gary, I think we were going to do a bit of a stream soon.
We are.
We've done it. Yeah. What film did we say we were going to cover again? Face Off. Yes. God. Yeah. Nick Cage at his finest. Yeah. We'll chat through Face Off.
I can't wait. So congratulations. Thanks for having me on, Doomcock. It's been so long. It feels like, I
know, it's weird. We don't talk anymore.
I know, right? Something like that.
Yeah, you need to spend more time together, honestly. God.
No.
No, I do. I need some, I don't know, couples counseling or something. Hey, we'll work it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Andre, take it easy, man. And again, congratulations, Drinker. Chat, thank you very much. Have a good day. And I'm going to go away now.
Me too. Hail to the chat. Hail Critical Drinker and Andre and Nerdrotic. See you guys later.
Yeah,
all right. Go away now.
All right.
All right. I'm just going to bring in MauLer and Rags.
All over now. Hello there.
Hello, gentlemen.
Oh, hello. Hi there. Hello.
Hope you brought your booze with you.
Mr. 500,000. How you feeling? Good night.
Bet you feel like a big man.
I'm feeling like quite the big shot now, by the way, MauLer.
Wow. Look at the size of your penis. All right, I get it.
Yeah. I start waggling around my 500,000 subs, it's what you do. No, thanks, guys. Listen, I really appreciate you guys coming in tonight. I know this was all kind of short notice, but it's good to have you two on board. So thank you for coming in.
No, happy to be here. I'm very. I'm happy for you. They say that the first 500,000 is the hardest.
Well, yeah, the first like 300 was probably the hardest. That took like 6 years or something.
Well, another 500,000 is well on the way, I'm sure.
Yes. Well, yeah. So how the hell are you guys anyway? What you've been up to recently? I know that.
So much.
Yeah, there've been more EFAPs on the go. I
enough,
finally got rid.
Our Ghostbusters escapades will be coming out soon.
Oh yeah,
I'm so
that
excited.
I wonder if you forgot about that. Huh?
How could you ever forget?
It's been seared into my mind. I don't think
those
I'm ever
who do
going to
not
forget
know,
watching.
EFAB movies, Ghostbusters 2016 with Critical Drinker. Oof. It was really good. That's what I was trying to say.
We loved it. It was great. I laughed many times at all of the funny humors.
Funny laughings, yes.
I
It was
can't
the
wait to see
extended
that.
version too. I hadn't even seen it before.
It definitely isn't branded into my brain.
You know what I thought when I was watching the theatrical cut of Ghostbusters? I was like, there needs to be more dance numbers in this.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the extended cut provided it, and it solved all my problems, and I was so happy to sit through all those dance numbers.
They knew what the audience wanted. It was just more dancing. Thank goodness.
Yes.
I was actually genuinely happy when the extended cut came and there was more dancing. And MauLer, Rags, greetings. It's a pleasure to be here with both of you.
Hey.
Hello.
Because Midnight's Edge broke down the entire movie beat by beat on the eve of its premiere. And people were like, yeah, okay, you got most things right, but there was no dancing. Why did you talk about all of this dancing thing when there was no dancing there? And then the extended cut came, and there was the dancing. So I was like, yes, vindicated.
We ran this by our test screeners, and they said it was terrible. However, if it had more dancing, things would be A-okay.
Yeah.
The big dance number at the end, where it's like Chris Hemsworth in front of all those soldiers and stuff, isn't that pretty much what caused Paul Feig to have a nervous breakdown?
Yes, he was crying on set because it wasn't working.
Really?
It's so awful, though.
That's what our
I think we were laughing at the absurdity of it.
Yeah.
Not even like in a movie way. Not like you'd laugh at a Monty Python sketch because you're like, this is silly, but it's hilarious. It's just like your brain kind of breaks and you just start giggling like a psychopath in a straitjacket.
It's like, watching that movie, it's like watching someone on open mic night at like your local comedy club who's gone up, but they haven't rehearsed their set at all, and they don't have anything, so they're just trying to make it up as they go.
We actually did that on EFAP 100. We covered a guy's stand-up.
It was very not good.
It was really bad. Maybe, was it worse than Ghostbusters 2016 though, Rags? I don't know.
No, it was shorter.
Yeah, there you go. That's a plus.
It was only like 3 minutes. It was only 3 minutes of terrible, horrible comedy.
I think it was only 3 jokes. They were all really awful, but yeah.
Yeah, I think calling them we're nice by calling them jokes. So you don't ever say we didn't do anything for anybody.
Yeah.
See, I can forgive someone who's just starting out and doesn't really know what they're doing for producing shady jokes, but like when you're dealing with the people who were in Ghostbusters, especially Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig, like they've been around for a long time and they should kind of know better. They should at least know what works and how to construct a joke.
Had worked on The Office as well, so it's like you've been around funny people.
Well, I guess Paul Feig just thought that all awkward comedy was the same.
That's it.
You
nailed it.
When I think about it, right, when I've done Let's Watch with you guys, the 2 movies that you fed me have been Ghostbusters, the extended cut, and Knives Out.
Hey, Knives Out was, even by your audience probably, it was sold as like, loads of people say it was really good, okay? Loads of people. It's not my fault. Nonsense.
I'm sure Movie Bob thought it was good, but like, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
we got our money's worth out of it.
There's plenty of people in our audience that were upset to find out. We thought it was absolute garbage. They were just like, oh, there was some comments like, you just kind of hate anything Ryan Johnson, huh? And it's like,
bad things and Ryan Johnson just happen to sort of go together. We don't create the patterns; we just recognize them.
The thing is, when people criticize us for that, I would just say like, "Fuck you."
That doesn't really work though. There's just like, aha, proof you're annoyed. Thing is, as soon as they introduce the girl who vomits when she tells a lie, I think it's like, oh, okay. Right, well.
Some people must have thought that was very clever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the next time we do something like that, if you bring me in, can we do like Lord of the Rings or something like a good film?
Nope.
Sorry, we've already done
That'd
Lord
be
of the
nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're gonna
for
watch
fuck's
something
sake.
really bad. We're gonna make you sweat bullets every time MauLer or my name pops up in your Discord PMs.
Yeah.
Count
You're like,
yourself as
oh
lucky.
God, what do they want
We
me to
didn't-
watch now?
We didn't force you to watch Mulan, okay? So there you go.
This is true.
Oh,
Like I did that of
shit.
my own volition.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
can't blame us for anything. If you're gonna do this stuff anyway, you can't blame us.
Yeah, but then while I'm watching it, like I can put it on like 1.5 speed and get through it quicker, and then just do my
No,
review
no.
after that. I don't have to talk about it as I go. That's
Not with
where
us.
it becomes more difficult.
We're gonna make you savor every second.
We might even make you pause.
Yeah.
Let's discuss what we've just watched.
Yeah.
Drinker, you can go first. Tell us how
Yeah.
you're feeling.
Tell me what this movie conjures up in you. Disgust.
Hatred.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the new Mulan yet?
Yeah, we did.
We watched both of them back to back. What a great movie the original is. What a
Yes.
fun time. What a simplistic story with some nice values thrown in and some wonderful animation. Really happy stuff. Then we watched the other one.
Yep.
Yeah, the
It is
original holds up
it's
really
one
well.
joyless roller coaster, isn't it?
Yeah.
The battle
joyless-
scene
well,
still baffles me to this day, thinking about the battle scene. How they changed it from the original, the Avalanche one.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I'd say joyless. We laughed at it quite a bit. We got a lot of joy out of laughing at it. But that's all the credit I'm going to give that
Well,
movie.
I mean, this was something I called out earlier. I guess was like the original showed Mulan having to work hard and struggle and train and gradually become
Yeah.
a better soldier. And it's like, okay, I can get behind that. Like you're showing your character going through struggle. But then you get the new Mulan, and she's like brilliant already, and her struggle is like trying to hold her power in check.
Just like
so
Captain Marvel.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yay!
Like, do they all just get put through this same character meat grinder and like congealed into the same kind of template?
That moment of unleashing your pure power and just defeating the bad guys when there was nothing in terms of training for it. Ray did it in TFA.
Yep.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah,
That's
really,
good.
it's like a template they're following blindly.
And remember, like the original movie, how Mulan doesn't willingly reveal her true nature. She gets discovered. She gets injured.
Oh,
and then
that would imply an imperfection, and we can't do that.
It's so funny when
No.
she's like, Odin being a woman and your chi will be better. It's like, how does that? What?
Why? Why is this film?
And then she's like, right, to be more of a woman, I must remove my armor. You're like,
Gotta accept who I am.
Yeah, it's like, do you know how swords work?
it's
No, she's
it was
too cool for that.
quite a movie. Quite a movie.
It really is.
It's
For those
of you who
amazing
haven't
that
seen
they
it,
thought I
don't.
was going to play in China. It's amazing to me.
It fully deserves the $7.5 million that it's made so far. I'll say that.
That's just the box office, right?
That's it.
So
Well,
I
I mean, that's
imagine.
what
Well, I mean, it is because I heard that's what the box office numbers were.
Yeah.
With all the theaters closed, I imagine that's probably about accurate. But do we have numbers on the Disney Plus subscriptions and stuff like
That's
that?
up to them to release, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
up to them to the release. What we have is that it bombed in China, and of course theaters are greatly reduced there as well. But still, it bombed even more, which again is no surprise given the woke nature of the movie, and that generally doesn't play very well at all. On the contrary, they have like a word for it. I think it's like Vaiju or Baiju or something like that, which basically means like white left. And any movie that reeks of white left tends to bomb in China. And when you apply that to Mulan, then yeah, that's a great way to make the Chinese walk away from the movie.
I heard that it was like made to be a movie that the Chinese would like.
Yeah, problem is that they made it to in accordance with every single stipulation that they got from the Chinese Communist Party. However, they also made it so that it would satisfy the woke audience back home in the States. And what someone seems to have forgotten is that those are two requirements that simply do not meet and cannot coexist at the same time. And the word Tom actually told me this is Baizhu, and that means white left, basically wokeness, and the Chinese can't stand it. And when you make Mulan Baizhu, they're not going to support that.
Yeah, I can imagine that the communist government of China isn't that good at making quality film productions.
Yeah, not even them, but like it's the Chinese people. They're gonna be actually annoyed with it because basically this is rewriting their myths and their legends and their stories. Because the legend of Mulan is actually like a genuine Chinese story.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be like if China made a movie about like the Battle of the Little Bighorn or something. Like, you know, you're not going to take kindly to some foreign country like trying to present you with the history of your own nation.
You know, I'm related to Custer.
I hope so.
Really? Why would
you relate to his dog? Or?
Well, I mean, you know, it was it was the Wild West, all right? You know.
Custer was a wild guy.
What happens west of Independence stays west of Independence, all right? That took an odd turn. So, Milan's shit.
It is indeed. The problem is, like, I'm kind of like stuck for things that are out at the moment that I can actually like review.
Tenet.
You know,
Oh, you already did.
Was that?
Oh.
Tenet, yeah, shite.
Well, there's, you know the thing.
The thing.
The thing.
The thing. The thing. Come on, let's talk about the thing.
There's I mean, there's so much. It's hard for me to just grab one out. You know, it's all floating around. It's just so many things out right now to talk about. For movies.
October's got a whole bunch of releases, but they're not strictly bad ones. So that's
what ones?
Plus. Well, of course, I mean, me and Rags have actually been checking out the Boys season 1, and so season 2 will be finished by October, right? With how they're releasing it.
Yeah. So yeah. So you're just on season 1 at the moment.
Just season 1.
When it came out, but I want to watch season 2 with the doggo over there, so he's got a season 1.
Yeah,
we got that done, and funnily enough, we're taking a detour with a different TV show called Hill House, ready for when Blind Manor comes out next month as well.
We're busy. We're working.
If you want stuff that's not shit, go check out The Haunting of Hill House, everyone.
It's really good. Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah.
It really does well with the jump scares, I will say. Like most of the time, stuff like that becomes really tiresome, but like I really liked it in Haunting of Hill House.
Their brand of horror is very it's very classic, as one of the people we were watching it with said. It's just a lot of standard scares, but they're just executed in a very I don't know how to put it, just a really respectful way, like a very, very refined way, maybe is the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carefully crafted.
Haunted house. You hear noises. You hear spooky things. Things smash. Statues maybe looking in different directions without you realizing.
Well, I think when you get the context as well behind certain hauntings. Like I don't know if you've seen all of it, so I don't want to ruin any of it for you. But when you get almost like a time loop for one of the characters.
I haven't seen all of the first season. We've seen up to 6 on our watch through.
Okay.
It's been pretty stellar. Good stuff. Would highly recommend. Don't see Milan. Go see The Haunting of Hill House.
And see The Boys, because Homelander is the hero we all need at the moment.
That's the thing. We've seen season 1. Once we're done with season 1 of Hill House, we're going to jump over, or back over to The Boys. And then once we're done with that, back over to Hill House. Well, the Haunting series. I don't know what they're going to call it, but
We're keeping busy.
So much TV.
Yes. So with season 2 of Hill House, is it like jump into a different story this time?
Using same actors, but a completely different environment, house, family. It's all new stuff, but it's all based on another book.
Right. Okay. Cool. No, I would definitely watch that because I really enjoyed season 1.
And also, Bill and Ted Face the Music isn't too bad. I see some people is mentioning that in the chat, and I like that one. And also, Dune. Like now is a great time to watch the original 1984 movie. Just make sure that you watch the alternate version Redux, because that's actually the good one.
Which movie?
Yeah. So
Dune.
Yeah,
Dune.
Dune, like the original David Lynch movie, because you have like 3 different versions of it. It's like the theatrical cut, which is, if you haven't read the book, it's difficult to get the story. And if you watch the extended cut, you get more of the story, but it's not really that good. Like the scenes are like in the wrong place, and the effects are not finished and stuff like that. But there's a fan edit called the alternate version Redux. It's actually on YouTube, and that one is the ultimate version of it. That's like the closest thing to David Lynch's intention, and certainly it has the best narrative. It's like where you actually understand the movie without having read the book.
I read Dune back in high school, but and I remember really liking it, though I can't remember all that much about a lot of the specifics. But I do definitely remember liking it and enjoying that read.
I'm quite hopeful about the new version that they're producing. Like I've seen the trailer for it. It looks really good. It's visually quite striking. I don't know why they put that shitty song over the trailer. Like the song in the background is really weird, but generally I think the casting looks pretty decent.
Yeah, amazing casting. And I've read the script for that movie. It's one of the best scripts I've ever read.
Really?
And yeah, I kid you not, the script is amazing. Yeah, for the new one. And if you've read the novel and you read that script, I'm amazed at how well they translated the story of the novel into that script. Will the movie be good? I hope so. And unless they completely butchered it between the draft that I read and shooting, we're in for a good movie.
Well, fingers crossed. I mean, it's the guy who did Blade Runner 2049, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
and he's perfect guy for this. I just hope that he will have slightly less money to use here, because the problem with Blade Runner 2049, in my opinion, was that it had way too high a budget. And because it had too high a budget, for one thing, it flopped. If it had cost like half as much, it would have done perfectly fine. But it flopped for one reason only: they spent way too much money on it. And I think there's like too much CGI bullcrap on screen, and the movie probably would have benefited from a slightly lower budget. Dune is also an insanely expensive movie, but I hope that it's more, that they've been more realistic in what it can hope, because they only film like the first half of the book, and the second half we're getting if the first half is successful.
Okay. I mean, yeah, the David Lynch one, as good as it was still constrained by the technology that you had available in like the early 80s.
And the running time, that was the real restriction.
Yeah. Whereas now you can fully realize it, on screen, and hopefully it should be worthwhile. I got your message, Andre, that you were saying that you're kind of out of time at the moment, so I don't know. Are you all right to stay on for a bit longer, or are you kind of?
I'm all right for 5 more minutes of Dune talk. But
yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, overall, the trailer then it looked pretty solid. It's like the visuals look good, the casting looked good, the direction, as far as I can see, looks pretty good. It's
glad
that
some people who were in Star Wars are still getting work. That's good to see.
Yeah. Batista's in it again, isn't he? I'm sure I saw Dave Batista.
Juan Batista.
Juan, yeah. Just Juan.
That is a deep reference. Some people in the chat will understand, because I was on a stream. MauLer and I were actually on a stream with Nerdrotic on their Friday Night Tights, and there was a guy who had totally lied and pretended to be one of the actors of the Knights of Ren, and he got in on this podcast and stuff and just lied his ass off and, about the stuff. And he apparently his name was like Juan Bautista or something. But for those of you,
a pretty cool surname, so why not?
Yeah, the deep lore.
Anyway, about Dune, someone is asking in the comments who is playing the Baron, and that's someone we barely see in the trailer, but that's the casting choice that I'm the most excited for in the whole movie that I think is going to be amazing. Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Harkonnen. How amazing is that going to be?
I think he's wearing a fat suit or something then.
Yeah, he is.
Right, okay.
He's got a pretty awesome name, doesn't he? Stellan Skarsgård.
Skarsgård. Yeah. He's like your depend because he was really good in Chernobyl.
Yeah, he was amazing.
You know, playing that like playing that kind of authoritative, like imposing kind of communist party man. He played that really well.
Even though the show is clearly just trying to recount the events of Chernobyl, like he's like a really interesting character throughout it.
Yeah. Yeah. And nobody destroys telephones quite like him. Like he really went to town on that shit. But it's good. Like, he's a guy who, you see him in things like the Avengers movies where he's playing that scientist dude. And the Thor films, he's like that recurring character, and he's a little bit more of a joke there. Like he's much more lighthearted, but like you can obviously play these like much more imposing characters. So
him as the Saxon King in King Arthur with the Clive Owen one.
Yeah, with the huge beard and stuff. Like you barely recognize him actually.
It's pretty intimidating in that. You need to watch that film again to know if it's shit.
I think it's pretty shit.
We could watch the one of the many amazing King Arthur movies that are out there.
Yes. I assume it's not as bad as the new one though. So
I don't ever hear about it, so I assume it probably wasn't that
the Guy Ritchie one. Did you see that, Drinker?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's awful. I want to say like it's not too bad, but it's not something that Guy Ritchie is suited to at all. Like he's suited to gangster movies, and like he tries to port some of that like snarky kind of sarcastic British humor into it. It just doesn't work at all in this context.
Which is a real shame because Lock, Stock, and Snatch are amazing, and Rock and Roller was not those two. And I want another one. Gimme.
Well, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was pretty good.
I haven't seen that. You reckon that's worth it? Is it? Or?
Yeah, that's a good film.
All right, might check it out.
Did you ever see the 1981 Excalibur?
Oh, good question. I feel like I've probably seen it like 15 years ago or something, and I can barely remember it.
It's some good shit. I really, really like it.
Really?
It's that had some famous. It had Nigel Terry in it, Helen Mirren, Liam Neeson, Patrick Stewart was in it.
Damn.
Way back in the day. Yeah, he looks the same.
Yeah, just always looked old and bald.
You'll find his earliest roles and see what's going on. What's the truth?
Yeah, like, what are you doing?
I think he went bald when he was like 18 or something, and he pretty much, the Patrick Stewart look was just locked in at that point in his life, and he's just never changed since then.
Tell us where the fountain of youth is, old man. I'm sure he'd appreciate that.
Yeah, like you guys haven't seen, like you're not really Star Trek guys, are you? So you wouldn't really have seen Picard or anything. But
no,
all I hear is that it's terrible.
Yeah, I'm up to date on how everyone fucking hates it. So.
Yeah, it's the Last Jedi of the Star Wars, or sorry, the Star Trek universe. It just makes me sad.
Every franchise is getting the Last Jedi of it. It's so wonderful.
Spread all that joy around. You get a Last Jedi, and you get a Last Jedi.
Yeah, it's great. Everything's burning down. I love it. It's the death of entertainment.
Yeah, less for me to care about in the world. Just destroy all the things I loved once. Teach me to let go of all my attachments.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I didn't really pick up on at the time. I did like a review recently on Jurassic World, and it wasn't until I rewatched it that I realized how shit that movie is. Like, I think it just kind of pulled the wool over my eyes at the time, and I was like, "Oh, this looks good. There's pretty dinosaurs on screen." And I was like, "Oh God, this is fucking stupid."
Team fuck Jurassic World since it came out. I thought it was so bad. I remember being disappointed listening to the Red Letter Media because I was like, "What? This was like because that was after TFA, right?"
Well, it was the same year. It was 2015. So
let me check.
Oh, it probably wasn't
because this is something I picked up on in my review. It's like 2015 was just the year when like Hollywood just pulled the wool over our eyes and just made us think that shit movies were good.
Came out June 12th.
So that would be before TFA then.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and it was weird because those two movies, I think you go over this, Drinker, as well, but they're like structurally, or at least in a meta sense, like the exact same fucking film. The goal of being like, remember that old thing though? Isn't it so good? Hey, here's a repackaged version, and you're sitting there like, yeah, this is what I like. I think. Wait a minute, and then that movie is fucking dumb. The fat security guard dude who basically gets everyone killed.
Yeah. Well, the whole like, oh no, the what the fuck's it called? The Indominus Rex has disappeared from thermal imaging. It must have escaped.
Oh my god!
We've got a tracking device on it. Should we fire that up and just make sure where it is? No. We'll just go into the enclosure and just check ourselves.
That'll be a fun one to watch, Rags. If this is the scenario, right? You have your huge dinosaur pen.
Yeah.
And there's a dinosaur in there. We can no longer sense it on scanners, but everything is intact. What's your first instinct as to what happened?
Oh, the scanner broke.
Exactly. It's not, for some reason they're like, no, it broke out. Let's go in there. It's like, what the fuck?
Nah. Can't you just look with your eyes?
Oh,
yeah. So there is. So there's lots of vegetation in there, so it's like really densely, like jungled inside that enclosure. So it could be hiding in theory, but you would think like, okay, you've got a tracker device which has actually been implanted into the dinosaur, so you can GPS it right down to like the nearest like foot. Okay, let's just use that and see where it's gone, just in case. But no, let's just open up the fucking enclosure and we'll go in, and we'll leave the door open as well, just in case.
Oh yeah.
It's so bad. But this is the thing, man. Like, as bad as it is, I'm pretty sure it's not as bad as Fallen Kingdom.
So we saw Fallen Kingdom pretty recently. Yeah, we saw it pretty recently. I had never seen it before. What a horseshit movie. Like, Jesus, it is terrible. MauLer said that he was really close to making a video on it, and I'm like, man,
Well, no, what I said was I was tempted to make one again. I was like, no, I've done it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did. Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah.
It's such an infuriatingly stupid movie. There's so much in it that makes no fucking sense at all. It's so bad.
There needs to be a name for a movie whose plot carries forward almost exclusively through human stupidity. Got to be a name. Maybe there is one, and I'm just not aware of it.
Well, it's a movie whose plot is built on human stupidity. Like, it depends on that in order to function. And that's what you got with both of these Jurassic World movies. It relies on the characters making some of the dumbest decisions that you could make in order to just make the plot happen.
What a shame.
There has been 5 Jurassic World or Jurassic movies, and only one of them have been good.
Well, a lot of people like to argue The Lost World is good. I fucking refuse to accept that shit. The Lost World is bad. I will fight you. It's not good.
The Lost World is just really uninspiring and mediocre.
The Lost World is Terminator 3 bad. It's like, let's do another one. Come on, people love this shit. Let's do another one.
The reason I even went back to review Jurassic World, because I know it's obviously 5 years old. Like, I just happened to see the original on TV, and I was like, I'll sit down and watch this for a little bit. And I was reminded of how good a movie it is, like how well they employ the dinosaurs in it as plot devices and action scenes and stuff, how interesting the premise is, how smart ideas it actually wrestles with. Great.
Yeah, and that's the reason everything falls apart is like multifaceted. It's not just one thing going wrong. And the fact that you have a sabotage plot involved in it is like, perfect. And of course there would be sabotage. There would be someone trying to steal the secrets of how to make dinosaurs. Why wouldn't there be?
Yeah. But it's not, like you say, it's not just that. Like, even if that sabotage plot had never happened, the dinosaurs have found a way to breed outside of the control of the people who run the park. So ultimately, it probably would have collapsed anyway. And so, it ties into that whole overarching theme of like, you think you can control nature, but ultimately it finds a way to break free of that control and overwhelm you. And that's interesting. It's carried throughout the story. But then anything you produce beyond that is just going to be a rehash of those same ideas.
Yeah, it was.
And that's
all
all they've done.
They've never had a new idea. The only thing that came close, funnily enough, I would say, is Fallen Kingdom playing with cloning of humans. It's like, oh shit, yeah, because technically speaking, like if you've got access to cloning of animals, I wonder what we're looking like with the human people. Like, if they could just say no, or they could explore it. They just arbitrarily throw it in. It's like, the skill is a clone, by the way. You're like, what? That surely this changes the world forever. It's like, nah, no one will find out. It's fine. You're like, oh, okay.
It's like a Palpatine clone, basically.
That's one of my favorite things in the whole movie. There's so much wrong with the movie, but this one where you got our heroes running around with the little girl who's a clone, and the villain guy catches them, and he's like, "Come on, little girl, come with me," and she's like, "No." Then he goes, "Come on," and then Chris Pratt stands in front of her like, "Hey, no," and then he goes, "You guys are gonna team? You don't even know that she's a clone." It's like, why would you say that? What reason? Like as if telling them she's a clone would make them go, "Ew, icky, go away."
Put her back in her jar. I don't want her here.
Oh, that movie. It's non-stop stupid. The prices of the dinosaurs are staggeringly low. It's amazing.
It's the thing that they keep coming back to as well. Like this thing that's always lingering in the background. Like, we can employ these things for the military. And I think you just nailed it on the head with your video, where it's like they would be shit in a war, and just keep explaining all the reasons why dinosaurs are like way worse than just human soldiers with guns.
It's almost infinite. Like, there's so many. I don't even think I covered all the ways. One of the bigger ones for me that I find interesting is feeding them and sheltering them. Like, that is no small task, especially if you're going to be fighting wars in other countries. Like, let's just take out a pack of fucking 20 velociraptors. That'll be easy.
And God forbid one of them gets loose in a foreign nation, and now you're on the hook for a moving landmine field.
Yeah. What happens if they come under artillery fire or something? Like, they're not going to maintain discipline like human soldiers would.
No, that's why you train the dinosaurs to be very disciplined under artillery barrages.
As Little King said in chat, diseased rats, they were used as an example. It's like, we've used animals like diseased rats. Like, what the fuck? What? The idea that someone used a rat that was diseased to hurt someone at some point in history means we should use dinosaurs in modern military. It's like, okay, you got me.
Yeah, the one big weakness of dinosaurs is that they're impossible to miss and they're not bulletproof.
Yep. Which was shown, by the way, one bullet knocks out Blue.
Yeah, she would have died if she didn't get medical help. A single pistol round almost kills her.
She was tranked as well, but the implication is just that, any high-powered rifle is going to knock the fuck out of a dinosaur, especially a headshot. They're done.
Yeah, you just shoot it once, it's still a bullet. Bullet's a bullet.
Yep.
Yeah, you notice that, like, in all the Jurassic Park movies, this is something that they always have to wrestle with. It's like you have to kind of construct some kind of scenario where guns aren't able to be used to their full effect against dinosaurs, because if you have like a bunch of velociraptors charging at you across an open field and you've got a couple of guys with machine guns, those velociraptors ain't getting near you. They're going to be dead. So they always have to be like, right back to the first one where the game warden Muldoon is like trying to shoot a velociraptor, and he's like, "Oh, clever girl," and then one of them comes at him from the side, so he can't fire in time. And
I love that bit because it's all explained in the opening scene with Alan, and he explains how they hunt, and then even so, I feel like we should be praising the shit out of that, and it's so simple, but we don't get that anymore. We don't get like a simple setup and payoff anymore. It's always some crazy subversion.
You
know what I like? When they say a thing could happen, and then that thing happens. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, you know what makes me laugh is like Claire, like the character in Jurassic World, who's like her arc is like she's not good with kids, just like Alan Grant, and everything is going to shit. Like there's the Indominus Rex is rampaging around, just killing everything in its path, and they're having to evacuate like everyone in the park to like the visitor center, so like they're kind of safe. And she doesn't think about the kids that are under her protection in the slightest until she looks at a security cam image, and it's like a parent's comforting two children, and then there's like a really slow like reaction shot on her, like, oh no, I have two kids that I'm supposed to be looking after. And then only then does she get on her fucking phone and be like, oh, game wardens, can you go in and check in on these kids, please? Like, that's the level of dumbness that you're dealing with here. You have to show everything like the wheels turning extremely slowly in the characters' heads.
Wasn't it also like super easy for them to break out of the like the railings?
No, in the big plastic testicle thing when they're rolling about in. Yeah, they're kind of like going around in a field, and then there's like just a gate that's been blown open, and they're like, "Oh, off-road, dude!" And then down they go. Like the guy who's like really creepy and who just like stares at teenage girls fixedly, like without actually trying to approach them or anything. Like that's his gambit. It's just like, we're gonna go off-road because, it's next level dumb, that film.
We're getting the third one, and everyone's like, "Yay, dinosaur film again!" And I'm like,
dinosaur. This one's just purely like, oh, we've managed to get Alan Grant back, and
they're planning on this isn't the end though. They're like, we're going to do another one after this. It's like, Jesus,
no.
When will you people realize that dinosaur zoos are fucking a horrible idea?
Well, right, they've written themselves away from that. They're all over the world now.
Jurassic World.
Gonna have Alan Grant with a minigun. I wonder if they'll destroy him. I wonder if we're getting a TLJ style thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
You never know anymore. You just have to be concerned.
You had the it summed it up perfectly in Jurassic World, where Owen says, like, you know, they're talking about how they're breeding this new breed of dinosaur, the Indominus Rex, and it's like going to be their big star attraction. And he's like, well, we've already got dinosaurs. That's wow enough, surely.
No, we have to make
there you go. Yeah, like you've already summed up the entire problem with this film. You know, we had the wonder of Jurassic Park way back in the day. It's like, holy shit, dinosaurs are real again. You know, that was the incredible thing about that film. But that's been lost in every film since then because the wonder isn't there anymore. It's not a novelty. It's just something you expect.
They keep trying to like. It's almost a meta comment in the film, right? Where they're like, audiences won't need more than that now, as if like that's us. Like you audiences, you need, you won't be able to watch a new Jurassic Park film unless there's a new spooky monster called the Zimbeldagosaurus with 17 wings, and we're just sitting like, I don't need that.
Yeah. I'm calling it, by the way. I said this in my review. There's going to be some kind of dragon in the third one.
Probably.
Like it'll be a flying dinosaur that breathes fire, or shoots.
It's a Dragonsaurus.
Yeah,
so cool.
Because you've already saw, like, Dr. Wu has always been like, we can engineer dinosaurs that never even existed. Because you want them to be scarier and bigger and all the rest of it. And it's like, okay, fine. Well, the next logical step is one that flies.
Imagine being the one who brought
all the movies. Like Dr. Wu just awkwardly gets kidnapped by someone or moved away at the end of every movie so that he can come back and just be the reason they have crazy dinosaurs.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Just they had the Indominus Rex in Jurassic World, and it's like, okay, that's kind of cool, I guess, because it's like a raptor bred with a T-Rex or something, so it's like super smart. Then in the next one, it's supposed to be a step up from that, and it's like you can point a laser at something, and this dinosaur will attack it.
Why would like the Indominus Rex be upgraded into the Indoraptor? You'd think it'd be the reverse.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like an upgrade. It's kind of like how the TX is like meant to be an upgrade on the T1000, but it absolutely isn't.
No.
Well, maybe it's one of those cost efficiency sorts of things where they're like, yeah, I mean, that last one was great, but man, it was expensive. We're going to have to cut. We're going to have to trim the budget a little bit.
Getting the budget Terminator.
We'll say it better, but it won't be.
Yeah, your 70% is good, but you're like 20% is the cost. So yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure, but I've got to be leaving you.
Oh, I
No
forgot it's
problem,
been 5
Andre.
minutes.
Yeah, that was a quick 5 minutes.
It was.
But,
No,
Drake,
thanks for coming in, Andre. Like it's been good to speak to you tonight.
absolutely. It's always a pleasure to be here, and thanks for having me. And once again, congratulations on crossing 500K. That's an incredible achievement.
Thank you very much, man. No, that's great. And yeah, I look forward to your next videos and a collaboration with Doomcock. You got to have some midnight cock, man.
Absolutely. All right, take care, everyone.
Yeah,
See
we
you.
will
Alright,
catch
later,
you
buddy.
later.
Bye.
And then there were 3.
The trio,
There are
the big
indeed.
trio.
What are the big stars you bringing on this incredible show?
Well, apparently Jay's interested in coming on, so I've given them the
Ugh.
link. It just depends if he's available. So we'll see. But then we can kick Jay. So as soon as they come on.
Should have had Jay on earlier. If he hates the new Doctor Who as well.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of does. Really, I'm struggling to find anyone who thinks, yeah, Doctor Who now it's exactly where it needs to be.
It's so great. Yeah.
I mean, even I dipped in and out of it just to review occasional episodes, but I couldn't get into it at all. It was just a chore.
They got a Christmas episode coming, right?
I
that's
think
what's next.
Either Christmas or New Year. I don't know if
Ah.
the BBC believes in Christmas because it's too partisan or something. You know.
They got the Happy Holidays episode coming.
You bet your ass they'll do Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
Doctor Who Kwanzaa episode.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Doctor Who, man. It feels like it's absolutely had its day.
It's
You
just
know,
funny
it
because I dropped out during the Matt Smith era, and so I've missed so much, and it's just like unrecognizable if I see any clips now. I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's just it's kind of amateur dramatics hour, and it somehow feels like it's really like the CGI and everything's just taken massive steps backwards. It's really cheap now. Just awful. Like I couldn't bring myself to watch it anymore.
Yeah, it's a real shame. It's just another franchise down the toilet, and you're like, oh, this one's another TLJ, is it? It's like, well, I have it on good authority. They have rewritten the history of the Doctor, so that does sound like we're getting close to something monstrous. I don't know.
Yeah, they kind of have. Which it's so like arrogant and disrespectful to just be like, yeah, we're going to take the history of this 50-year-old program and just rewrite it to suit our own ends because like we know better. It's like,
Well, they're gonna make it better, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We fixed it. It was shit before, but we fixed it.
It's more diverse now, and that's the important thing.
You looking forward to when they maybe fix Bond? It's gonna be fun.
They are going to fix the shit out of Bond, I'm sure. I'm very confident. You know, I'm actually just glad. Like, I want to see the back of Daniel Craig because he's just a miserable arsehole. And like, he's probably the only man on the planet who doesn't want to be James Bond.
That's the thing. It's like, if he doesn't want to be, can someone else? Like, it would be nice to have someone playing him who actually wants to play him. Like,
yeah. Henry Cavill could do it. He's got a good look. He's a good age for it. You know, he's got. Yeah, he could probably do it for like at least 10 years if you signed him up.
Assuming he's interested, I guess. In the
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
You don't think so? You don't think so? I think they could play Bond.
Well, you know, it's interesting you should say that because watching Tenet, I was like, this movie's kind of shit, but like Robert Pattinson's actually pretty good in it. And he does have that kind of suave look about him in the film where I'm like, I could sort of see him being Bond.
He was
but now he's kind of locked. Yeah, he's locked into being Batman now for a while.
Give him the old college try.
I mean,
right?
we're assuming they're going to have James Bond be a white male, so we need to. Yeah, let's calm down.
I mean, I'm super interested to see what he can do with Batman. You know, we'll have a look at that.
Yeah, me too. I
kind of feel it. Well, I don't even know where where Batman's going now, because it feels like we've got multiple versions of him. You know, we've got Robert Pattinson in The Batman. We've apparently got Michael Keaton, who's going to be coming back in the Flash movie, and Ben Affleck is coming back in the Snyder Cut, and apparently he's going to be in the Flash movie as well. So, you know, we have 3 Batman. Like
we're not, you know, we're not out of Batmans. We got plenty to work with.
Yeah, it's just like, well, if you don't have a definitive version, it's kind of hard to get invested in it because I don't know which one's going to reign supreme.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of continuity too, isn't it? It's like
let the Batmans fight.
Those
yeah, we need a movie where they all fight each other.
Batman.
Those 4 average viewers, though.
Batman win.
Like, we'll know which is which and where things are going, but I imagine the average person's probably like, "What the fuck? What Batman is this?" Like, oh my god, I'm so confused.
You have to be really careful when you're messing with the continuity of any kind of show. You know, Star Trek's proven that it's really hard to do. The Terminator movies have proven that it's really hard to do. You know, once you start saying like, well, okay, everything that happened beyond, you know, this arbitrary point didn't happen now because we've decided it. This movie now overwrites it. Like, that's a really hard thing for general audiences to wrap their heads around and get invested in. And if you start doing that with the DCEU, which is already like on shaky ground, I don't know where it's going to end up.
Yeah, I guess it's hard for. Sometimes you have to stop and remind yourself that most people aren't like us, a bunch of hater white supremacist Nazis. And you got to put yourself in that mindset of what would the normal. I mean, people love Jurassic World. People love Mandalorian. People love just stuff. People just love it. People love The Force Awakens. You know, you gotta be like, oh yeah, that's right. Most people just love things, regardless of quality.
Yeah. Well, I think most people go into the movies like with a pretty charitable view on whatever they're going to see, because it's like they paid their money, they got their popcorn, they got their soda, you know, they're ready to just sit down and be entertained, and they probably don't have a particularly high benchmark for it.
Yeah, probably not. They're just, I'm here to have a good time. That's what I've set out to do, and that's what I'm gonna have is a great time. I'm gonna watch this movie, and it's gonna be fine. And I'm only here to fuck this woman after anyway. So we're gonna have a great time. Great.
Pretty much the reason to see Titanic back in the day. But
it's a love story. You can go see a love story. I'm a sensitive man.
It's not about the iceberg and the ship blown up or anything like no. But no, it's like, you know, for people who are actually invested in these particular universes, it's frustrating because it's kind of getting constantly rewritten to suit the needs of whatever's popular at the time. And it's like, if you would just...
I just find it funny when they do that as like a selling point, when they're like, "Hey, those shitty ones, we're not gonna let them be canon anymore." And it's like, why do you think you're good? Why are you coming in here like you're one of us? Like one of the fans being like, "Oh, those ones are shitty." It's like, well, whatever.
Yeah, and this is. I mean, this is what made Dark Fate particularly laughable, where it's like, we're gonna. You know, you like Terminator 1 and 2? Okay, this movie allows you to pretend that nothing else beyond those ones exists, and now R1 is the official, like, 3rd movie in the trilogy.
I want someone to do it again. I want to be like, Dark Fate didn't happen.
Yeah.
We're moving on with something else.
Here's another one with saggy old Arnold and Linda Hamilton, like, pretending like they're still the same characters from 30 years ago.
You're the oldest robot I've ever seen.
Good, this one is the good one, guys, okay? This one for sure.
Yeah, we got it right this time. The other 5 attempts, nah. But this one,
we learned it lesson, we promise.
Well, it's like, I'm pretty sure, hasn't Arnie got like comments about how Terminator 3 is shit or whatever here and there? I can't remember. I don't know if it's been long enough for him to disparage 5 or 6 yet, but I just find it funny. I'm like, do you actually believe when filming these that they're good? Do you know? Like, I hope you do.
Well, what makes me sad is like James Cameron, you know, coming in and like however much they paid him to say, like, you know, like with Terminator Genesis, like he's on record as saying like, oh, this has really revitalized the franchise. It's got Terminator back up and running again. Like, no, it hasn't.
Yeah, he's a fucking liar. Dude, the fact that he said to like Arnie to just do Terminator 3 for the money, it's like I fully believe that James Cameron is fully aware how shit these Terminator sequels are.
Yep.
The guy who
Honest-
made Thumbnail 1 and 2, like, come on.
Oh, what we could get actors to say if only they knew it would be totally confident and it'd never get leaked. Oh, what a treasure trove that would be.
Yeah. And well, some of them are doing it. Like John Boyega is just fully into no fucks given territory. And he's like, yeah, I got screwed over with the Star Wars movies and my character got like totally disrespected. And I think that's shit. And it's like, yeah, it was. And, people can't help but get behind him as a result of that because it's like he's finally just being honest about it.
I mean, I wonder how, like, the people who think that... Because there are people out there who make videos, like, Finn's incredible character arc, and I just wonder, like, what do they think about the actor saying he was completely wasted?
Well, they're wrong.
It would be curious if they were like, the actor doesn't understand the character. You're like, okay.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, no, it is possible. It's just...
I mean, I suppose if you want something bad enough to be true, you could pretty much reconstruct reality to fit in with that. That's kind of what that feels like. It's just, we're going to pretend that there was great storytelling at play in the Disney trilogy and just work with that. And that's quite a leap to take.
Yeah, well, you just hate women.
Oh yeah, kind of. Well, that's a given, Rags. I mean, come on.
Not to. They're so annoying.
If I criticize Rey or Captain Marvel, that's obviously the reason for it. It's nothing to do with writing or anything like that or characterization.
And we're pointing out all of the incredible similarities between these female characters because we adore it so much. We're just so glad we get to see the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah. It's a winning formula,
We do not ever consume stuff we like or talk about things in reference to the bad that are good. You know what I mean? We never do this. We only ever search for things we want to hate on.
Mm-hmm. And it's definitely the way that you consume media. Just look for things that you're going to hate, and then just get fired into that.
It's fun though.
Yeah, but no, I mean that's kind of why. Like, I've done live streams where like I've kind of sought out movies that I really liked, and I've found a guest and we've talked about it because it's like it is good to just like focus on really good films and remember why we enjoy doing stuff like this, why we actually go to the movies. It's like, yeah, it used to be good. It used to be fun. There are good films out there that you can really enjoy and get invested in. It doesn't happen so much now, but it can.
Yeah. Well, that's also all fueled by all of us fucking really enjoyed consuming media, and they were like, wait, where did it go? Why is this happening? I need to rationalize it because I refuse to believe that all of this is luck, that it's just a roll of the dice whether or not I enjoy something, because that's absurd. It's got to be more than that, and it's more interesting to actually figure it out, because then we can finally get on track to making good shit again. But give us a few decades, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think to do it in two stages, to say like, well, this is what's wrong with what you've produced now, but this is what the previous versions of the same or similar films got really right, and this is why they got it right. And when you compare the two, it's like, okay, there's your instructional lesson in how to fix what you're doing now. Like, it's not that hard, but it's just like, it's that combination of like lack of creativity and risk aversion and like, hundreds of millions of dollars being at stake. And I guess trying to inject, politics into it, all of those things together is just going to sink a movie. It's like the death of good writing.
Nowadays, it's good writing is just so hard to come by. They wouldn't be able to recognize it even if they made it by accident.
Yeah.
Like, it's luck now.
I mean, that's often the assumption whenever there's something praiseworthy in the writing of something brand new and mainstream. It's like, how did that happen? Like, I'm concerned.
Well, it's like, when we did an EFAP talking about Joker, and it was like, wow, we're actually covering a movie that we all kind of liked and that was really like smartly put together and like was quite tightly written. This is a novelty.
One that, as good as that was, it's so odd that was one of those ones that you're not like supposed to like. There's so many people up there who clearly there was an unspoken consensus that it wasn't. You can't praise it.
Yeah.
The fucking we covered it. The weird attitude where it's like we can't discover the theme of the film, therefore it's worthless. It's like
When it
wow.
was so obvious.
Yeah.
It's so weird because we're so used. We hadn't had that take at that point. We'd always had the one where it's like this film that you think is really shit is good because it has a theme of X, Y, Z. The first time we come across someone being like, and it wasn't just one because it was Movie Bob and Jenny Nicholson. I think they were both like, yeah, this movie sucks because there's just no theme.
Yeah, no theme at all. Nope.
Possibly great. It's two failures. It's like it doesn't have to be a theme, and there clearly is a theme.
Listen, themes aren't fun when I can't make them up and not be able to support them.
Yep.
If the normal, average, everyday moviegoer can get the theme, then how great can it really be? I went to film school.
I just blows my mind. So it's like, fucking, how easy is it to please critics? All you got to do is just find something that matches their politics, make it your theme, have it repeated, have it explicitly stated by the main character halfway through, and you'll be fine. You get 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, was Movie Bob's take on it not like, it's just cheap knockoff of Taxi Driver, and I've seen Taxi Driver, so that makes me smart.
No, I've seen Taxi Driver. I've seen all these old movies. I'm a film reviewer, man.
I've seen Citizen Kane. That makes me the king of the cinema. Fuck off, you fat prick. It's just.
What do you mean? Movie Bob is so well adjusted. He's such a nice man.
No, I didn't hear you saying that about him. You won't be one of the 70%.
Yeah,
I don't even know that he'll spare his worshippers if he thinks that they're conservatives for any
Not
moment.
even good enough, yeah.
No,
could you imagine some kind of like horrifying dystopia where Movie Bob is somehow elevated to the status of like arbiter of who can survive? It's so
Vito's ultimate form. It's don't say we didn't warn you, okay? We tried.
Yeah.
That's what EFAP is all about. It's the warning signs of Diabeto's arrival.
With the rest of us, like we can kind of have a laugh with what we do, and we have lives outside of this. But with him, I don't know, man.
I don't know either. It's a big old ask, I think, for him. Yeah, you'll note it was unclear in that huge meme that everyone made whether or not we had even defeated Bob. In the finale, you don't know if we did.
Yeah,
so,
the force of nature.
Yeah, he's still going.
The concept of Bob will always live on.
Maybe an episode 200 meme will finally get him. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's too dangerous to be left alive.
Yeah, that was a fantastic meme.
Oh yeah, you did see it after, did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You like you're riding a Jack Daniels Pegasus.
Yeah, it was good. I think my battle cry was something like, "Oh, it's smart and it just makes sense."
A lot of people put a lot of work into that crazy meme.
Yeah.
No, the work there was incredible. That was something else. Like there's memes and then there's next level stuff like that. I was going to say, gentlemen, there is super chats here that I've been kind of piling up quite steadily over the course of this discussion. Would you be all right with looking at a few of them, seeing if we can answer them?
Yeah, we will rate your super chats on a scale of 1 to 10.
Rate them on a scale of 1 to Movie Bob.
Oh no,
he's way bigger than a 10.
Your audience wouldn't be that bad. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
1 to 2 liter.
Where are we? Where do they start? Jesus. Still going. No, more. Okay, here we go. Holy shit, no, they're still going. Man, that's what happens. That's the power of refresh. Okay, here we go. Emotionally unstable amphibian. You've earned it, mate. You're one of the greatest YouTubers ever. There are few as eloquent, informed, or witty. Love you, man. Right, respond to that one, gentlemen.
I feel the praise is pretty good. I feel like we could have done more. A little cliche, but your heart's in the right place. I give that super chat a 6 out of 10.
Super.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 just because it's just so nice.
Paul just wants to be the good guy. He's always raining down on my parade.
I'm gonna give it an 8 now.
5.
9.
You know, what I should do, because like a lot of these ones will be in reference to Gary and Doomcock and stuff, I will actually go up to the top and work my way down, because then we'll get the ones that are for you gentlemen. And I want you to be able to participate, so we'll try it this way. Pete says, when you win, you're never sure why you won. When you lose, you always know where you went wrong. Man, that's deep. I don't even know what to say to that one.
That's not accurate, is it?
Is that a reference to Joker? I don't know.
Wait,
I don't know. I
so-
feel like you could lose and not know why.
Yeah. I don't know.
I give
feel
that one a
like-
3
Yeah,
out of 10 for
well,
inaccuracy.
Yeah, because you know, did they not say like you can sometimes make all the right decisions but still lose?
Yeah, that's a
You know?
Star Trek thing.
Yeah.
Remember Picard and
Okay.
Data? Yeah, it's possible to make all the right moves and still lose. That's life.
I'm going to downgrade that to a 5 out of 10 then, I think, for that one.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that is a Star Trek. No, the Star Trek reference was Us. I'm going to rate Us an 9 out of 10, and the Super Chat a 3 out of 10.
Sounds
There you
right, Rags. I'm
I'm
going to
going
go
to
with
pat
that.
myself on the back like Galadriel patted the elves on the back.
We've got a question here from Walt. So, Scotch/whiskey/cognac or bourbon? What do you gentlemen prefer out of those 4?
I don't. It's funny. I stick to. I guess. What's my favorite?
What's your drink of the day, more?
Well, the funny thing is, I often go for vodka just because it's quick and easy, like in terms of my goal. But if I want something that tastes good, there's all kinds of things I'll gun for. But my favorite's probably Bailey's.
Whoa. Okay.
I mean,
Bailey's is that's some sweet stuff right there.
yeah, that's probably why.
I mean, do you mix the vodka with stuff like, you know, Coke or Red Bull or something like that?
I didn't used to. I do these days because it's so much
He's
easier.
evolved as a drinker.
I have.
Yeah. You've got to find your right mixer, find the right one for you. Apparently, like vodka and like fresh orange is meant to be really good because it's like it's nourishing but also drinking at the same time, so you get like goodness and badness.
Well,
in equal
vodka and
measure.
orange juice is called a I used to know. I forgot all my name. A Cape Cod, or is that and cranberry juice?
I'll take your word for that. I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know if you should.
It's not. It's not really something I drink.
I like rum. I have lots of rums, funnily enough.
Yeah.
I'm like a pirate.
Yeah. Vodka is responsible like for some of the worst nights out I've ever had. Like it was one of those things I drank a lot when I was young, you know, because I hadn't really found the drink that suited me. What's that?
Everyone's saying screwdriver.
Ah, that's the one.
Ah, okay. But yeah, vodka was like it would get the job done, but it would also make you spew all night long. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, really.
Well,
But then
some people know how to control themselves.
Yeah, I never learned
Also,
that.
sorry, I have my bottle of Jack Daniels as well, just to be safe.
Yeah, but I moved on to bourbons and rums and stuff like that, and you mix that with a bit of Coke or something, and then you've got yourself a pretty stable night.
Alcohol, the true hero.
It is. Alex Lee says, "Hey Drinker, I figured I'd prod you on covering when other franchises were good. What's next to talk about? Men in Black, Ghostbusters? I've been spending the day watching some classic westerns. I mean, I've covered Men in Black. That was Men in Black International was kind of shit, and Ghostbusters, well,
I don't want to.
yeah,
Oh yeah, that happened. There was a Men in Black movie.
That's the thing. There's so many
Yeah.
franchises getting destroyed that we can't even keep up. It's like slow down.
I know.
keep track of all of them.
Well, now we're at the point where even like the ones we don't care about are getting destroyed, but I feel like I
Yeah.
should still care about it anyway, just because it's stuff that used to be kind of good, even though I didn't really care for it. But it's getting destroyed anyway.
Do you see the new Bill and Ted?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I was not impressed with that one.
Really? I mean, the trailers made it look like kind of two middle-aged guys who were really tired and couldn't really be bothered doing it.
I mean, I love Keanu Reeves, but man, I don't think he can play that character anymore.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of into John Wick mode at this point in his life, isn't he?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that, but yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to go too much into it because I was never a huge Bill and Ted fan, but I watched the first two ahead of time and then I saw that one and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know. It's a lot. You could summarize it and it would sound like a lot of the other ones. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, it's like, yeah, this feels like the kind of film that should have been made 10 or 15 years ago when they were still like somewhat young enough to do it. You know, they were playing older versions of themselves, but like not to the point where it's like ludicrous.
I mean, people saying it's like a feel-good movie. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, if you felt good. The really weird thing, I don't know if you knew about this, but they were like, why did they gender swap their children? And like the official comment was, it would be pointless having their kids just be another Bill and Ted. To have girls means you change it up, which I don't get that at all.
Yeah, like girls can still be that same personality. Like
Well,
that's not changing anything
they're
up.
literal clones of their dads, and
Yeah,
they imply like, oh, but if they were guys, that would have been boring. It's like, okay.
yeah, like taking a guy and a guy's personality and sticking boobs on them doesn't make them interesting as a character.
It's really odd as well because, I mean, not looking to spoil, but let's just say the heroes of the movie are not Bill and Ted.
Yeah. Lieutenant Netjack here says, Hollywood just can't let a good story stop when it reaches its natural end. They have to kill everything by doing too much. I mean, I suppose so. It's like the relentless pursuit of profit, isn't it? They'll keep making the same movie as long as people watch it. That's why you end up with the Jurassic World movies.
Ripperoni.
Yep. Same with Terminator, really. I mean, that reached its natural end in about 1991.
Yeah,
they've kept making them.
Getting tasked with, I don't know, like being the one to make a sequel to T2. I just feel like maybe we don't, though.
Yeah.
Just seems like
well,
do anything else.
Yeah. Ross Irving says, will the Amazon Event Horizon series bomb? Damn, good question. I have no idea.
An Event Horizon series?
Apparently that's happening. Yeah.
So we're talking like the movie, but as a series?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I
mean, I'm excited to see it because, man, I'm a big fan of that movie.
I don't know. I'm gonna go with a cautious no on this one.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do to it that's going to spin it out into a whole series. Like, it seems like a concept that's really built around a film. I don't know. Is it going to be some kind of prequel where you get to see the crew of the original ship before they jumped? I don't know.
I mean, is it going to be I mean, if you were going to tell me that I had to take the premise of that movie and stretch it out, then I would probably end up doing like a Dead Space thing, where you take like what you had with the Ishimura, where it shows up in the second game. Spoiler alert. But and it starts to cause issues elsewhere, or they arrive later and they try to. I don't know. I think I'm not opposed to in an ideal world where we had competent writers, I'm not opposed to the idea. I think you could definitely do stuff because after the first movie, there'd be questions and people would be wondering what the hell happened. And are there other prototypes of this engine out there and all this sort of stuff? Could be interesting. Could be cool. Could have a lot of spooky-tisms. But then again, with writers these days, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm inclined to agree. I mean, MauLer, what was your thoughts on the original movie? I don't know if you've seen it or what.
Was it animated or what are we talking about?
No, Event Horizon. So it was like.
I thought we were talking about Dead Space. I think I just got.
No.
I need to play Dead Space again.
Yeah.
Awesome. I quite liked Event Horizon. I want to see it again. It's been quite a few years now since I've seen it. But
I need to see it again as well.
I do recommend it. I would love to see the extended cut, which I don't know if we ever will see, because I think the original footage that they had was too degraded or something to be able to.
Yeah, I heard it just
remake.
isn't around anymore.
Yeah, it's that time period where like they didn't, it wasn't digital, so like it was literal like physical reels of film, and so you had to store it in a warehouse somewhere. And if they didn't do that, if they happened to throw it away or whatever, that was it. It was gone forever. And I think that's kind of what happened to Event Horizon, and it's a real shame because, man, it had potential, that movie. It really did.
Yeah, you think about some of those old like silent movies and everything. Some of them are gone forever. The medium wasn't stored properly. It wasn't preserved. It wasn't transported or reformatted. It's just gone forever. That's kind of a sad thing to think about. Entire movies that just don't exist anymore.
Yeah. Edwin Sparks here says, "Drinker and rags, I sense incendiary feces abounds."
Like Taco Bell, or
we've all been there.
Well, no need to hide what happens. You just own it.
Incendiary feces. Fucking shit fire.
Yeah.
Poo flame.
Well, we call it lighter shite here in Scotland.
Lighter shite.
You get that paper bag, put a shit in it, and light it on fire and put it on someone's doorstep. Yeah, that's shite. That is. Yeah, the fun we had back in high school, honestly. John Ellis Bush here says, "Drinker and EFAP movies. I want to see Batman and Robin. When?" I don't.
No reason why we can't do it. Event. I don't want to promise a date, but do we say that for anybody else, Rags? Do you remember anyone who said?
Who said?
I can't remember if I said Nerdrotic was going to do it as well. Was that a thing, or am I misremembering?
To do what?
Batman and Robin. What was that Batman Forever? I don't know.
I think it was. I think you mentioned Batman and Robin. It's one of those ones that pops up whenever, when we talk about, we really like, you can really like it, but like, what the fuck? I don't know, actually. I don't know.
Well, maybe we'll do Drinker and Nerdrotic can come on and watch the Schumacher Batmans. There we go.
Yeah,
that
we
would
can do
be
that.
Something else. The thing, like, at least comparing that to Ghostbusters, like you could really have a laugh with it.
Oh yeah,
even if it was unintentional.
Yeah. Well, there was no laughter for us with Ghostbusters. We were just like, well, that was another joke, I guess.
Yeah. The thing that blows my mind, and I wish this had happened, like, how they were trying to get a Nick Cage Superman film off the ground back in the day. Like, it was going to be like the death and resurrection of Superman, and they spent however many millions of dollars trying to make it, and they couldn't figure out the right ideas and stuff. If that had worked, if they'd made the movie with Nick Cage playing Superman, it was going to tie into the Joel Schumacher Batman movies. That would have been a sight to behold.
The cinematic universe we deserve.
Yeah, that would have been the MCU, so the DCEU pre-Snyder. That would have been something special.
Oh, it might have been Battlefield Earth, Rags, that we said for Nerdrotic.
Oh yeah,
another fantastic film.
That is. It's where do you even begin with Battlefield Earth? I think it's one of those films that's like become legendary for how bad it is, and it's like
I haven't actually seen it.
Oh, yeah. It's a funny one.
I've heard I've heard all the things.
It's Scientology personified into a movie, and
so it's going to cost me money.
Yeah, well, yeah. John Travolta's just looks kind of embarrassed a lot of the time. But
he should be.
Yeah, I think it's the movie that pretty much sunk Barry Pepper's career. Like, the dude who was like the sniper in Saving Private Ryan. It's like, he had potential to be like a leading man, and then he did that, and that was it for him. He was done.
Was he the director? Or?
He was the main protagonist.
The hero.
He was the protagonist. I could see him in a bar somewhere, Don't you know who I am? I'm the protagonist of Battlefield Earth. I
Like,
saved
get
the
up here, you
planet.
drunken bum.
I saved the planet.
You respect me.
I rescued the world. The lovely
And it
bartender.
stabbed me in the back.
Yeah.
John Ellis Bush also says the Jurassic World films are so dumb they might as well just form the Megazord and be done with it. None of the rest of it makes sense.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at that point where it's like, what can you do to make dinosaurs more scary or more intelligent? I
Well,
think,
of course,
you know,
the whole poll now is just going to be. It's going to. I wouldn't be surprised if in the trailer they have like army dudes showing up and a whole bunch of dinosaurs crawling all over the place, jumping through everyone. Just like, wow, explosions, and a dude who's like, "We gotta get out of here!" And then his head just gets sliced off by an invisible T-Rex because they have those now. It's going to be so cool.
I'm going to think of like dinosaurs that have been spliced with human DNA, so they've got the intelligence of a human, and they can like hack into human computer systems and like
Turok at that point, right?
Yeah, like
they
they
can
turn human technology against us.
Yeah, they could play checkers and stuff.
Oh no, they could play checker.
It's like, oh no, they've hacked our Facebook page.
King me.
Zero Depressive says, unbelievable. Congratulations, you amazing raconteur. Well, thank you, Zero Depressive. It's good to have gotten here. Nick K, almost forgot to do this. Great job getting to 500k. You deserve it. I'm not sure I do.
Well, if you don't feel deserving, I'll take it.
Yeah. Do you want to trade some subs? I'll give you some.
Yeah.
Can we swap?
20.
How much are European subs worth in American subs? What's the exchange rate?
Is there an exchange rate on subs? Like 50,000 subs is like worth 70,000 American subs.
I don't know. I guess it depends on if Americans are better than Europeans. What does chat think? Let's have a look.
Well, they're cheaper, aren't they? So that tells you all you need to know.
Oh, Rags didn't disagree, so.
Nope.
Where did I get to? Gogar here says, congrats on the 500. The 500k drinker. You definitely deserve all of them and more. Love you, man. Part 2 of my EFAP meme will be out soon with you as Pippin. Superb.
Not Scotty?
Scotty Pippin.
Apparently not, no.
Oh, man. His memes, there's something else.
Is he the guy who did the 20-minute like EFAP one?
Oh, well,
from Endgame.
He did a portion of it. It was like 7 people together or 8 people, I think.
Yeah, he's done ones of his own. He did the Empire Strikes Back one, the Escape, and he did the Lord of the Rings Mines of Moria one.
I love the Lord of the Rings, but it was awesome.
That's some good shit right there.
Yeah.
Very talented. Good at finding clips, audio clips.
Nice. Yeah. The Fez Man says, KK made raptors talk in Jurassic Park 3, Kathleen Kennedy.
Alan.
I hope that was her idea. Alan! It's just become legendary.
It's just odd to see. I know it's supposed to be odd to see, but it's not odd in the correct way that they wanted, I feel.
I think they wanted it to be almost horrifying. Like, holy shit, dinosaurs talking like a human. But then when you actually see it and it's just like this really awkward mannequin mouthing a word, it's just it's just ludicrous. And it's a shame because that's what they got, Sam Neill back for.
Alan.
At least he gets to wrangle dinos in that movie. God.
Yeah. And he's coming back again.
It's going to be great. And Sadler and Ian Malcolm. They're not all going to be in a courtroom like saying one piece of dialogue and then they're all over the marketing. This time we're going to get them as a full team, and I'm sure they're going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to Luke Skywalker them?
Well, that's like almost what we were expecting at this point. But I was thinking to myself, like, imagine it's just like good. Could you imagine if it were good?
I can't. No, I actually, my imagination doesn't stretch to that point.
No, it's just like no, I don't understand that one. How would it be?
What can you do with it? It's like all-out war with dinosaurs.
Well, I can guarantee it's not going to make a lick of fucking sense. The script won't, but hopefully the characters aren't destroyed. Hopefully we get some fun dinosaur action. You know what else?
What I want is for Dr. Wu to get shot, right? And then they take his brain and they transport it into like a T-Rex's body. So he's like taking his revenge on the world through the medium of dinosaurs.
What if we do like a Resident Evil where when he's dying, he gets an injection, hits it into his leg, and then he starts like regenerating, and then like Amazing Spider-Man 1, claws happen, and he gets really big, and he's like a T-Rex. It's like, oh my god, it's the Woo Rex.
Tyrannosaurus Woo.
I'll go with that. Why the hell not? Walker Mac Fitness. Jurassic Park 1 was a good movie. I'm glad you think so, sir. Lost World was a fun movie.
I mean, I'm not going to take that away. You know, you get your dinosaurs.
Kill that art. Squash it like a bug.
Listen, I've explained before, the fun levels get affected by the very cruel death scene for the good guy character that gets brutally murdered for helping people, which upsets me. But that's not why the movie's bad, but that annoys me.
Is that the guy who's in the truck and he gets like eaten by the T-Rex or something?
I think we've talked about it before, but he's like, he spends his whole time trying to save 3 people's lives, and through his actions, they do get saved. But meanwhile, 2 T-Rexes bite him at the same time and rip him in half.
Yeah, that's the guy.
And it's just like, why did you need to do that? It's just damn. It's not as bad as the Jurassic World one. I'll agree on that. Because you know it's a sacrifice, so you can at least get that out of it. Like it's like, oh, he's a good person, and he did a good thing. But the babysitter one in the new one was fucking hilarious. She gets this crazy Mortal Kombat cutscene death for no reason.
Is that the one from Jurassic World where she's like, picked up by the pterodactyls, and then she gets eaten by the giant like dinosaur crocodile thing? Yeah. That's like the sort of thing. That's the kind of death you would reserve for like the antagonist of the film.
Yeah, no,
like someone who really deserved it.
Bizarre choice. I think everybody ever was like, "Why? What did he do?"
It's trying. The theme of the movie is babysitters are bad, and they get what's coming to them.
Yes,
I think the theme should be like kids get people killed. Because every time someone tries to help them or look after them, they get killed. And
yeah, that's true. Hitler was a kid once.
Yeah. You should just do yourself a favor and avoid kids. Like, then it'll be fine. And that goes to everyone who's a fan of cuties as well. Oh, I said it. I know I'm not going to review that fucking movie.
Why do you hate art?
Yeah.
There's lines, there's kind of lines. I wouldn't like advocate for it to be like banned altogether. I just wouldn't review it.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't really advocate for people to watch it particularly.
Not encouraging that sort of thing is a good idea.
A wise choice.
Drunk 3PO says, "Congrats, my fellow drinker. Cheers." Well, cheers to you, sir. It was good. It was good fun to be on your stream the other night. Orochi, how in the hell are you at 500k? Wow, that's crazy. It is. I don't even understand how it's happened. It just I woke up one day and there it was.
I didn't ask for this.
Well, every art you murder, it just keeps going up.
I know. Yeah, I'm just I'm collecting scalps on the wall. Really. What's my next victim?
Oh no.
Walker Mac Fitness. Drinker, huge fan. Keep up the good work, all of you. And PSA, Epstein didn't kill himself. We know.
I've seen the documentary. The T-Woo. I don't know what we're calling it, but it was Woo. Dr. Woo T-Rex killed Epstein. It's going to be in the new movie.
It was assassin raptors with lasers. Mm-hmm. They took him out.
Ass raptors.
Yeah.
Ass raptors for sure.
Just ass raptors.
Even worse than laser raptors.
I don't know about that.
They're pretty bad.
Coming for your ass.
Raptors? I don't know. Do they use their ass to attack you, or do they attack the ass? Important questions.
I mean, like, I think it would be worse if they attacked your ass. Like, if they use their ass to attack you, what can they really do? They're just going to fart in your direction.
Sit on your face.
What if they have claws in there?
Yeah, I never thought about that, actually.
I bet some people would like it if a raptor sat on their face, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Mr. Wonderpain here says, love you guys. So he loves all of you.
Woo, that's nice.
Feel the love. Feel the love. Ian Slater says, so, random thought. Kathleen Kennedy's rise is basically the perfect example of success without earning your stripes, and failing upwards. Is that fair to say? Yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of people in Hollywood seem to do at the moment, is fail upwards.
Yeah,
JJ's made a career out of it.
Yeah, we're just talking about well, I guess I don't know if it's failing, but I guess the Jurassic Park guy, he's not gonna. I mean, that wasn't really I mean, he failed to make something good, but he didn't fail to make money. So.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Trevorrow, wasn't it? Colin Trevorrow.
Yep.
So he was going to be doing Rise of Skywalker, and yeah, he was so pissed off with like the mandates from Lucasfilm about how, they couldn't work around the death of like Carrie Fisher. They couldn't keep Luke in it to compensate for that. He was just like, yeah, fuck this, I'm out of it. And he went and did Jurassic World instead. So, I don't know, it was probably a good shout from his point of view.
Hindsight, yeah, he dodged a bullet there. He hyperspace kamikazed himself out of that disaster.
He probably would have done better than them, but I don't know if he would have done good.
Yeah. Think how different, though. Well, not so different, but like, think how much it could have salvaged TLJ if Luke hadn't faded away and died right at the end. And it's like, okay, he's still alive for Rise of Skywalker or whatever the third movie might have been. It wouldn't have fixed everything, but it's like, well, you've still got a character there that you can salvage and do something with.
Yeah, he can actually have his, redemption. Forbid we allow characters to do that. I mean, you already ruined everyone else.
Yep.
What could have been Star Wars.
Automata here says, beep, bop, boop, robot can rise up. So, yeah, that's a reference to Gina Carano.
Well, that's very transphobic of you, don't you know?
I know. Yeah, that's it. If you like anything that she's ever said, you're a transphobe.
Ripperoonie.
Tim Riggs, Rey, Captain Marvel, Mulan, etc. are being amazing, and succeeding without working for it is a reflection of the writers. They believe they should be successful without working or struggling as well. Pretty much. I think they've succeeded without having any talent or ability, so good on them, I suppose. But yeah, that's not how real life works for real people. You have to work, and you have to struggle a little bit. So, yeah,
hard to believe that most of the world operates on it. If you are shit at your job, you don't get to keep your job. Yeah.
But don't you know, the rags, that meritocracies are racist and sexist?
Oh, yeah, that's what I hear.
So yeah, that's why we have the films that we have nowadays. Pretty much. Yeah. And look at the results. Nikki Rye 71 says, I'm still at work. No, please keep this going until I get home, please. Well, we don't know what time you got home, so hopefully you are, and you can listen to us in the comfort of your own home. Morrigan, Rey, Mulan, and Captain Marvel are what your imagination is, bound, gagged, and pistol whipped by your ideology. Yeah, pretty much. I think I said this in my review. It's like, these characters are what happens when you try to bend a story around your message, and you end up damaging one at the expense of the other. And yeah, you just end up with a bad story at the end of it all, because it's not really going to work.
Yeah.
Walt here says, Drink, Shad, and Moriarty are among the top 5 guests. Get them on more. Okay.
Oh, Moriarty's climbing the ladder there.
Yeah, people do like Moriarty quite a bit.
I like him too.
I will be honest, yeah, I like him too. He actually got into the newest EFAP recording for movies, so
yeah, he did. He had to watch that with. Whether you consider that winning or losing, I don't know.
I felt bad for him. He had so much fun with the original Mulan that he was like,
yeah. Have you had Chad on recently?
He was on for 100, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
He's
like over 1 million now, isn't he? He's like really killing it.
Dude, he's gonna have his own castle, so
yeah.
I think he's made it. All right.
Yeah, he's doing all right. That's good stuff. I like his videos.
Yeah.
Industrial says Norwegian representation. Yeah, well, we did have Andre on for quite a while, so there we go. Ramstein says watch Dune from 1984. Yeah, well, like we did talk about that earlier. Apparently, we've got to watch the ultimate like fan made cut or something. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with all the different versions of the David Lynch original, so I would need to kind of look it up. I remember not being a fan of the theatrical cut. I thought it was really like the effects looked lame. The story was really truncated and stuff. Like I don't know if that was just a result of it being cut down quite a bit.
I've only seen clips. I couldn't really tell you anything about it myself.
Yeah, it was Kyle MacLachlan as Paul. So, yeah. What I liked about the trailer for the new one is it kind of represents the force fields that people wear. So, like when you do hand-to-hand combat, you have to like, I think you have to like, if you're going to stab someone with a knife, you couldn't just do it full force because the force field will repel it. So you have to like parry their blows like really fast and then stab them really slowly in order to get through the force field. And that's what they kind of represent in the trailer. So yeah, it'll be cool that they've got that attention to detail. Curtis D says, this stream is my birthday and Christmas rolled into one. Great day. Cheers. All
hey, Christmas. Yeah, Christmas must be great for you to think so highly of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good day to ruin Grandma. Only for rags, of course.
Yeah. No one else steal my signature move.
Yeah. I am subscribed to everyone that is on today. So nice one, Curtis. Thank you very much. Miguel Hernandez. Congrats, Drinker, you haggis regurgitating asshole. Thank you. I never regurgitate haggis, though. Once it goes down, it stays down. And it doesn't come out until it comes out the other end. Yeah, you
don't want your organs escaping, do you?
Yeah. It's a good hangover cure is haggis. It's stodgy. You know, it's kind of what you need in the morning after a big night out. It may kill you, but you know, it's all right.
No, it would help with this alcohol, a second stomach in my stomach.
Yeah, like an alcohol stomach.
Yeah, it's a little...
Just like one reserve just for alcohol. Yeah, that's what you need. Big Fat Nerd says, hi, Rags.
Hello!
A Weather Eye says, need me some Midnight Cock. Get her done. Yeah, they're working on it. There's going to be a Doomcock and Midnight's Edge collaboration. Beta Lauda says, congratulations. Thanks very much. Derek Brown gave me a super sticker, so thank you. The Justice 35. Congrats, Drinker. Well done on 500,000 subs. You earned it. Love the style, humor, and quality of the work you've put out. I got to ask, what movies are you going to do next? I'd like you to recommend Glory from 1989.
Matthew
Good question. Yeah. I was planning to do a Drinker Fixes on Finn at the moment. That's my next project. I'm writing the script for that at the moment. I'm going to try and turn Finn into a good character in TLJ.
Wow.
That's a task and a half.
No, it's not possible. I mean, if Disney, with all of their incredible money, couldn't do it, then, I mean, could you?
Disney with their giant space brains. I feel like I can do something with him. You know, it's going to go down the road of like giving him force sensitivity and stuff. But yeah, like hearing John Boyega talk about it, like you can tell how pissed off he was and what a missed opportunity Finn was. It's like I feel like I can do something with that. At least I can improve on it.
Absolutely, they fucked him up.
Yeah. Next one, Wazurbas says, congrats, Drinker. So thank you very much. Paleo Geek Chris, congratulations, Drinker. Don't go away now or ever. I always go away and then I come back. That's the problem.
It's like your favorite franchises. They go away, but they'll come back.
Yeah.
Every time.
EC Morgan 69 says, hey, Critical Drinker, hope you're well, pal. Congratulations on 500,000 subs. Oh, and what do you think of the movie 13 Hours? 13 Hours? Who's in that again?
13 Hours.
I feel like I've seen it, but I'm going to have to look this one up. Give me 1 second.
It's the Benghazi film, I think. Michael Bay.
Is that right?
Hello?
Right. Okay. So yeah, I totally checked out there for a second while I was just looking it up. I'm just trying to see who's in it, and that's going to totally jog my memory. John Krasinski. Yeah, I've seen that. It's really good.
Oh. Michael Bay made a really good film. How about that?
Yeah, it's a bit more restrained than his normal stuff, and it's kind of, I don't know. It reminded me a lot of Black Hawk Down, rather than your typical Michael Bay stuff. So, I actually thought it was pretty good, and John Krasinski was really good in it. I think that's pretty much what got him the role of Jack Ryan, and told people that he could actually do action movies. So once he got the beard, man, that was it.
That's the is it Riker? That's the who started that. To grow the beard is to your true potential. I think that's the trope.
Jonathan Frakes.
Oh yeah, that's the guy.
You remember that? You ever watch Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction?
No.
I've seen the supercut of that where Jonathan Frakes is just going it's fake. We made it up. We lied to you. It's wrong. And it's just him just berating the viewer constantly. But I've never seen a proper episode of it.
I remember watching a couple way back in the day. I don't know if they were good or not. I think it's just one of those things.
See, I know you guys haven't watched much Star Trek, but I know, I quite liked Jonathan Frakes in The Next Generation. He was kind of just put in there as a backup, captain. I know they were kind of nervous about having Captain Picard in there, this old bald guy who was a diplomat and stuff. And they're like, we'll put a guy in who's basically just James Kirk, ready to go in case he fucks up. But he never did. And so, Riker was kind of always just left hanging at the periphery and, didn't really have a proper role. And that just kind of, stayed with him all throughout the TV show and the movies. So it was always kind of a weird one.
Well, thank goodness he got a role in Picard.
It really paid off. It really did. And it definitely wasn't added in later in reshoots. Even though he totally admitted that it was. Yeah. That show must have been so good to work on.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I was going to say to you, gentlemen, I know you've been good enough to join me for an hour or so. I've got another guy coming in who's quite keen to jump in. And I don't know how you're fixed time-wise, whether you've got time to do some more super chats or whether you want to bounce or whatever. So I just wanted to give you guys the option.
Look, if you want us to fuck off, you could just say, get the hell out of here.
Damn it, Rex. You know I've never liked you. And
no one ever liked you. No
I
one
have to
likes
talk to you, and it's oh God, we have to pretend that we all get on with each other, and it's awful. No, I didn't want you guys to feel like you had to stick around for the super chats or to do more of them. So I just wanted to give you the option. That's all. But
yeah, long streams are where it's not something we know.
Not a fan of long streams.
I know. Yeah, I know you and MauLer, you don't like to do long ones. What I'll do is I'll bring the fourth guy in. and we can just carry on. And let me know if you're running out of time or whatever, and we'll just we'll do that, shall we?
I can stay on a little bit longer, then I'll probably go and eat myself some din. Get back to work.
Nice one, man. All right, cool. Hello, Zanquish. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing quite well. How are you guys?
I'm good, thanks, man. Just in case anyone's wondering what the hell that was, that is the drunk saber. He's reprogrammed a lightsaber so that it plays like drinker quotes instead of like making lightsaber noises.
Oh yeah, you bust that out at parties.
Exactly.
It's something else when you see it in video format. Swinging it around and it'll just do quotes from the drinker. So
I just think it's a delicious bit of irony, given how much you all love Star Wars. You probably love it just as much as I do. So to put Drinker's voice on a lightsaber, I think is just it's how the cool kids would say it's nuanced.
Well, we might love Star Wars as much as you do. That's a very real possibility.
I'm being 100% sarcastic and facetious.
Well,
I think we all love it equally at this point. I think.
Yeah, because I think I love Star Wars as much as MauLer.
Yeah.
So I mean, that depends on what you depends on how much you love Star Wars. Maybe that might not be so sarcastic.
Well, let's just say I've watched all of your videos in great detail with great enthusiasm, and I agree with every single point that you've made. So I think we're all on the same page.
You love Star Wars
the most. Yay! You use Star Wars as much as we do. Hooray!
Yep. As all I know is that it's the original trilogy, and then that's where the story ends.
Mm-hmm.
And,
weird they didn't make any sequels, but there's these weird films that keep popping out with the name. I don't know why they're doing
it. Success.
See, I would like to pretend that, like, you know, Star Wars ended in 1983, Terminator ended in 1991, probably Star Trek ended in about 1994, and you know, I can just stick with that. Predator ended in like 1987.
Well, 1991 when Predator 2 came out.
Yeah, okay, I'll give Predator.
Let him have Predator 2. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And let's
also
not forget,
Predator.
Aliens ended in 1986. That's the end of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys don't love AVP? What the fuck?
I know.
Are we gonna eat that movie? Is that?
I mean, we could.
Yeah, you should.
Jay likes that movie, so.
What?
Well, I mean,
if I want to bring Jay in just to kick him, actually, for saying that.
Okay,
well,
now I'm officially offended now.
Depends on why you like it.
Hey, it might be a like self-aware cringe thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I love Doom Annihilation. You know, I really like Doom Annihilation.
I preferred the Rock Doom. I thought it was more charming with the cocking up the guns again and again. I don't know.
Thank you, MauLer. You just went up another 10 points in my book. So cheers to you, mate. I don't know why that movie gets the hate that it does. That's a great movie.
Wait, are we being...
No, man, that movie was awesome. Watch it again, seriously. The original
Doom Annihilation?
No, the one with The Rock.
Wait, what? You're not... No.
It's got Carl Urban in it. What's not to like?
I'm just gonna leave that one there, I suppose.
Yeah,
I'm lost.
All right.
How much time do you have?
We covered it on EFAB. If
we got an EFAB.
you're curious what we thought of it, yeah.
Okay, I'll watch that too.
We had a great time.
The movie I struggle with though is Alien versus Predator Requiem. Like, if you ask me to
see what's going on in that movie,
if you ask me to recount it, I'd be really struggling. Like, it's like, even if I watched it several times, I just can't seem to like actually recall anything that happens in it. It doesn't seem to register.
The Thor, the Dark World of the Alien franchise.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean,
it's a weird one.
It's like a Predator is dispatched to just clean up all the aliens, right? And he spills blue goo on them to disintegrate them. That's what I remember. Goo.
Blue
Well,
goo.
Why?
The girl love interest gets pinned to the wall with a Predator shuriken, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, I remember that being funny.
Yeah. So, but the rest of it, no, there's not enough alcohol in the world for that one.
I mean, I've tried. I really have. And I don't know if I've ever asked you guys, like, what did you think of Predators? The Adrian Brody one.
I don't like the second half.
The people who directed Cuties?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, yeah. They'll be processed and prosecuted, I'm sure, in due course.
I have almost entirely forgot that movie because I only saw it once and I was so disappointed. Like Adrian Brody just didn't do it for me.
Oh god, that's a miscast. That's a really good go-to for miscasting. Like, why the fuck was Adrian Brody in that role? He was like trying to be calm, reserved, yet strong and assertive, cold, badass army dude, and he's doing the fucking Batman voice.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Yeah, he's got the proper gravel in his voice, hasn't he?
It's funny. He's such an asshole, but he comes through in the end.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got Topher Grace as like the surprise. He's the bad guy.
Yeah, that's something that bothered me when I first saw it because they established that they're all chosen because they're like killers, and then for some reason nobody ever questions why the fuck we've got this guy here, because he's like, "Oh, I'm innocent doctor man. I would never do anything like that." And it's like, like, well, the Predator's fucked up.
It's like, yeah, there's pretty much a reason why you're here. So, but yeah, how would the Predators know the context of the things that he'd done?
I guess the implication is, I don't know, they're pretty smart and they keep an eye on everything on Earth. I don't know.
Not smart.
That just makes me sad. It's like I can sort of get like they've got a basic understanding of human conflict, like when you see in Predator 2, but beyond that, like the nuances of like doctors abusing their power, like, oh, fuck off. No.
I would think that the Predators are all just sitting back watching, like on their own little cameras, you know, and life on Earth is like a reality show to them, and they're like, oh, check out these assholes. If we put them all on a planet together, they're gonna do something stupid. This is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, they had you've got Danny Trejo in it, and that almost makes it watchable just for having him on.
Trejo.
Oh, dude, he's always a treasure and everything. He's like 1,000,000 years old now. I'm getting sad. It's like,
yeah,
but he's still badass.
Oh, he's gonna be dying a badass. I picture if he gets sent to hell for whatever reason, they're gonna want him to leave because he's gonna kill everything there.
Pretty much.
That'd be
great. Few things are more memorable than seeing his decapitated head riding on a tortoise shell.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
a
pretty memorable moment.
Yeah, and it's quite a head he's got as well.
Damn right.
Yeah, that's a face you wouldn't forget anytime soon.
Before I forget, Drinker, I watched your stream the other day where you were talking about Resident Evil. If you haven't seen any of the animated movies, like the CG ones, I think you might really enjoy them.
See that's the one part I've missed out on. Like me and G-Man were talking about how shit the Resident Evil films were, and yeah, people were saying like, you know, watch the animated ones. They've got they're much closer to the games. They've actually got some kind of connection to them, and they're actually, the later ones are quite well done. It's like, oh, okay, like I just totally passed me by for some reason.
There's a scene in the latest one, I think it's Degeneration or something like that, where they absolutely ripped off John Wick, but you don't care because it's just awesome to see Leon and Chris Redfield plowing through a hallway, and doing tactical reloads and all that, and just, you know, going full John Wick on an army full of zombies. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, see, I could get behind that. Like my issue with the live action movies is just how bland and generic they are, and how boring the characters are, and how, you know, they take existing characters from the games and just plonk them in like completely out of context,
right?
And just expect you to kind of get on with it, and it's just such a weird, like, we don't really care at this point, we're just going to throw in anything that you might recognize.
Right.
I mean, MauLer and Rags, like, have you seen any of the Resident Evil films? Like, familiar with them?
So, I got a wonderful history with those. I saw the first movie without having any knowledge of the games whatsoever, and I was like, this is a fine horror movie, I guess. And a friend of mine who loves the series, when he found out that I thought they were okay, he was infuriated. I was like, oh, sorry. And then the second one came out, and I remember seeing it in the cinema and being so confused and laughing at loads of it. And he was like, they've ruined Nemesis. And I was like, I don't even know what that is, but okay.
I think...
From then on, the rest of them, I just loved to watch them because they were so fucking stupid.
I would love to watch
They are... Yeah, they're next level shit.
Marathon.
That's
I think the bit that always stood out for me was in the second movie, and I don't know if you remember this, but there's a point where they're under attack in a church by a licker, which is like a mutated monster thing that can like drop from the ceiling. And just as it's about to like pounce on them, Mila Jovovich rides in on a motorcycle through a stained glass window that's like 30 feet up in the air, like on the side of the church, you know. The motorbike that she's on smashes through the window. She does a slow motion backflip out of it. The motorbike collides with the licker, this monster thing, and for some reason both of them launch directly up into the air like a fucking catapult. And as she's falling to the ground, she shoots the gas tank on the on the bike, and it explodes, like destroying both of them in the process. I was just like, holy shit, man, there's so much to unpack from that 3-second scene.
That sounds great.
We call that perfection, Drinker. I don't know, you guys haven't seen it so long ago.
Yeah,
that is Bollywood realism right there.
I'm not hearing anything wrong with that scene whatsoever.
I remember the third film is like, the world is a desert now, and then the rest of them are like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not
Exactly.
actually.
Yeah, well, one of them was like, you've written yourself into a corner because, like, you know, the world is a desert and all the cities are destroyed and everything, but that's not very visually interesting to look at, like 3 movies later. So we're just going to do one movie that's set pretty much in VR. And so we're just going to like have a bunch of different scenarios where your characters are plonked in to like a VR scenario.
Yeah, crazy. Like when they bring back the entire team from the first film, and it's like, wait, what? How? What?
I thought we got rid of Michelle Rodriguez.
I'm sure they weren't that busy.
Yeah, Michelle Rodriguez wasn't at that point. I was like, before she got picked up again for the Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah, she got the Fast franchise. That's a thing. I haven't seen any of those. I'm out of the loop.
MauLer, you have not seen any of those?
Well, I saw the first 3. Tokyo Drift was the last one I saw.
Okay.
I think they were still normal movies back then.
Yeah, so they became heist movies from like 5 onwards, I think.
Yeah, they've evolved. They're a different beast now.
I saw Fast 5 and it was silly, and I liked it, but it was it's a Fast and Furious movie.
All right, hands up if you've seen Hobbs and Shaw.
I have not. I saw the trailer and it looked hilarious.
Yeah, it's more of the same. So like from Fast and Furious 5 onwards, they are basically all just ridiculous, over the top heist action movies where like the laws of physics go out the window, the laws of like what the human body can withstand goes out the window. And it's funny because some of them are just clearly a pissing contest between The Rock and Vin Diesel about who can be the most gravelly and bald and sweaty.
Did you see Bloodshot?
One Shot.
Bloodshot. The movie?
Oh my
no,
God.
I haven't. No.
Oh, it was so bad.
Please don't make Drinker watch that. Come on.
I stupid.
I swear, hand to God, up until now, the Ghost Rider movies were my absolute lowest. Like, that was my benchmark. You cannot go lower than that. And then I actually paid money to rent Bloodshot. And I watched that, and I felt like part of my brain atrophying watching this thing.
You could call it a movie, I guess.
No,
it's a movie in the sense that stuff happens on your screen.
Yeah. Yes, but no, don't do that to yourself, Drinker. Seriously.
So is this Vin Diesel like, I need to do stuff beyond Fast and the Furious because I'm gradually getting supplanted by The Rock?
I assume it's every actor's thing of being like, how do I get to be a bazillionaire Marvel person? It's like, oh, we got this superhero movie coming up called Bloodshot, where it's a guy who can like regenerate his entire body even if it's blown away. Do you want to do that? It's like, yeah.
It was a 100% glamour movie for him.
Yeah.
One of those ego movies that actors usually like to do, where it's just 100%. Look at me, I'm awesome. That's exactly what it was. It made no sense whatsoever.
It was so bad.
I think that reminds me of the game where I never played it. I only heard of it, but you played as a character who could get blown up. He was like cursed with. It's one of those things. Cursed with immortality, dude. And you could like get blown up by enemies and stuff, and you would have to like roll around and collect all your body parts again to start playing.
Dude, that sounds awesome.
Just like a limbless torso just rolling around trying to get all your bits.
You'd eventually get your head, and you'd have to go and collect your body parts and stick them back on and stuff like that.
That sounds amazing. Is it?
Wait. Could you stick them on the wrong way? Like, so you're some horrifying like parody of a human being, like legs coming out of your arm sockets or something.
Unfortunately, I do not know many of the details.
Mr. Bones on Sega Saturn, is that it?
Is it what?
Mr. Bones on Sega Saturn.
I legit don't recall. I just about this was years ago.
And if chat can crack the case.
Help us out, chat.
Well, did anyone play the X-Men Origins Wolverine tie-in game? In that, you could get like machine gun shot to pieces, but then all your flesh regenerates and stuff. I remember that being like neat. The film wasn't good though. Sorry?
How do you lose that? Do you like fall in a vat of acid? That's the only thing that can do?
That's a good question. I think if you lose too much flesh, you like get knocked out or something. I don't remember.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because of course, yeah, you kind of need to have some kind of fail state. Otherwise, it's Never Dead. Was that it? Oh, apparently
I think it was Never Dead. Now that you mention it, I do think that's what it was.
Just as a side note, speaking of liquors, that was probably the scariest part of Resident Evil 5 for me. Is like when they're all in the hallways and they just creeping up on you. I played that game more times than I care to admit, just because I was trying to grind for money so I could get like all the weapons. But those liquors gave me the creeps.
Oh, in 5?
In 5, yeah. There's a scene where you go through, you're in the mines or something, and you and Sheva have to tag team. She has to, go up a catwalk. You've got to open up or drop a drawbridge, and then the liquors start coming up from the ground. And then she's got to peck them off while you run around the top. And if you play it in co-op mode, you have to split that up. It's a genuinely nail-biting scene.
It's been a while since I played 5, so I'm kind of struggling to remember that.
Buddy, I don't know if I'd call it a good game, but it's fun. It's fun with a friend.
I genuinely enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun because I specifically bought a GameCube just for Resident Evil 4 because I was so taken with it, and I played it until the disc just wouldn't play anymore.
4 was...
my love with 4 is one of the reasons why 5 was so incredibly disappointing.
Yeah, it was a different game, but
it was worse in every way, yeah.
It's kind of like they learned all the wrong lessons from 4, though. It's like, people just love action. So we need hordes of zombies like coming at you from every direction, and you've got to like fight them off and like run across rooftops and stuff to get away from them. It's like, no, that's not why we liked 4. It was because it was well paced, it was well structured.
Well, the combat was really consistent, and the levels were very well designed, and the weapons were very interesting. And
yeah, honestly, it's one of the best games for the concept of balancing. Just
absolutely,
throughout the whole thing's amazing. And there is a Mark Brown video of all people. It goes over some of the secret balancing in the game that's really cool. He's not I think
my favorite out of the whole series was probably the remake of Resident Evil 1. Like, that took all the core elements of the first game and just raised them to the point of perfection. But you have like the graphics are massively improved, but they're still like the static pre-rendered ones. You've got this sort of slow-paced exploration and survival aspect of it. You've got things like new elements like the Crimson Heads that will come back to life if you don't like burn the zombie bodies, but you don't have enough fuel to kill them all. Like, all of those things just came together to make like the perfect remake. And for me, it was just like the right balance of Resident Evil.
Okay. Yeah.
I was never interested in the old ones with the fixed cameras and stuff. That was just really never an interest of mine.
Yeah, I got a big boner for the Resident Evil 4 style versus the original.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil 4 is a game. I've bought that game more times than any other game. So I bought it for GameCube, I bought it for Wii, I bought it for Xbox, and I bought it for PC.
And then
we need to have a proper discussion about the Resident Evil games, I think, at some point.
We all got to replay all of them, and then we'll have a big old stream.
Seriously, yeah. I would do that. I have never gotten tired of Resident Evil 4, and that's why when they announced a remake, I'm sort of excited, but kind of nervous. It's like, don't fuck with my game. You know, don't change anything.
They just gave it a graphic overhaul and up the FPS limit. Like, that's kind of all they should do, honestly.
Exactly. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
You can even keep Ashley, because I like Ashley. She's kind of cute, you know? She's stupid, but no, whatever. She's in 4.
Not really an answer to my question.
Okay.
Is what, sorry?
Isn't she underage?
No.
Like 17?
I don't know. Do you ever get her age in the game?
All she says is she's the president's daughter. That's all I know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
She's all right looking.
Well, especially if you
nice
unlock her Britney Spears pop star outfit, that's pretty awesome.
That's too try hard. I like her normal outfit. It's what like a normal girl would wear. Makes it
suit of armor outfit, best outfit.
Yeah, she's invulnerable, so you don't have to worry about her getting hurt.
Yeah, is Lewis not always trying to crack on with her?
Well, he makes one joke about her ballistics, and then that's.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. He's a smooth operator, though. I'll give him the credit.
Very.
Luis Serra.
Yeah.
It's such a great game. It is absolutely flawless from beginning to end.
I don't know about that.
I wouldn't go that far. I love it.
It's a great game, one of my favorites, but
it's Salazar that pissed me off.
Awesome. Yeah, we had Ramon Salazar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The little dwarf guy.
Yeah, the ape castellar of this magnificent.
Yeah. See, that's the problem with it. It's like you've got these great set pieces in like the village and all that sort of thing, where you've got good setting, great action scenes, new enemies that are really interesting, and it feels kind of grounded and believable. Then you've got a guy like that who's dressed up as like Napoleon, and he's a dwarf, and he lives in a giant castle, and I'm like,
I'm fine with that. It's a big robot version of him that attacks you on the bridge. Yeah. That's a bit of a, that's one of those Capcom moments.
Crazy, dude.
But the game excels because of how well just all this, they use space really well. All the spaces are done well. The enemies are done well. They've got enough variety in them, and there's a lot of consistency in the combat to the point where it's exploitable. However, I will say that's kind of to the game's credit, because it shows you how consistent the mechanics are, and you could learn them, and you could really, really plow through that game once you learn the game.
Once you learn the capacity upgrades, refill the ammo, it's like, like I can take advantage of this.
Yeah, because I don't know, the mechanics never seemed that complex, but like the game makes really good use of them.
Yeah, they're simple mechanics, nothing really complex, but it works really well. What it does, it pulls off really well.
Yeah, I love it. Like, when someone throws a hatchet at you and you can shoot it out the air, and you just feel like a motherfucking boss when you do that. Like, I'm unstoppable, man. That's little touches like that I think just feed into the atmosphere of the game really well.
I just love the fact that once you played it through the first time and it like kicked your ass, that you could play through it a second time and keep all of your inventory, and you're like, okay, now I'm going to go and have revenge on that asshole that gave me so much trouble the first time.
Yeah,
like the Verdugo fight in the sewers.
Yeah,
that thing scared the piss out of me.
Yeah, that was a creepy boss fight. Yeah,
you hear him running up behind you, and you're just like, fuck, and you don't have enough TMP ammo, and that was a really, really good scene.
Yeah, I would never praise the story that much, but the mechanics.
Oh no, pure schlock. The story and the characters and the writing, pure schlock, and it's great, and I love it.
I got real vibes from Code Veronica when I played that game. In terms of story, in terms of like the characters and stuff, it's got that kind of aristocratic, like dynasty kind of feel to it. Like, yeah, that's straight out of Code Veronica. And so, yeah, like definitely Schlock is like top of the the pecking order there.
So many great lines.
Sadler is so over the top in that game. Just like, are you for real? Okay. Almost worse than Wesker.
Definitely evil McBad guy, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm actually kind of surprised, Drinker, that in your chat you kind of missed the elephant in the room with Resident Evil 5. You didn't talk about Excella Guion.
Wow,
I mean, fucking tits.
Yeah,
geez, that one
McGee right there.
Seriously, the cutscene before she transforms into the Ouroboros. I mean, tell me you didn't watch that one a few times.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's like,
I just feel like in the age of unlimited free porn, whenever I want, that stuff just doesn't quite get as many points with me as it used to.
All right.
Yeah. See,
she's hot though. Jill's hotter.
I mean,
so
the dress was
that game would have come out in,
inappropriate.
like what, 2005, something like that. Like Resident Evil 5 was a good long time ago. So yeah, it wasn't quite the internet age of free, like unlimited porn like we have nowadays, and you could take stuff like that and still appreciate it. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, she was super hot. She had massive cans, and Jill was just gorgeous. Absolutely, Chris's biceps were just silly.
Yeah,
you don't like
no, Rags. We never make fun of male weird proportions. It's only female.
That's body shaming, yo. Don't do that.
Yeah,
he worked hard to be able to punch that boulder, and he saved Sheva's life.
He did. He punched
Chris was suffering from. Like he was suffering from bigorexia. Okay, and I think we need to recognize it's a condition.
Like I've seen a guy punch a boulder to death, so I know that
died.
Following realism.
Okay.
I do like the fact that the finale of that game takes place inside an active volcano that's in the process of erupting, and like your enemy
into an active volcano in the middle of the day. Great. It's just like, yep, we're doing it. We're doing this always.
And like Wesker gets knocked into the lava, and like he still comes back at them and like launches tentacles at their chopper, and he's pulling them in. It's like you're in lava. How are you even like existing?
Hey, it's a T-virus, man.
The last time I played that with a friend, we were just cracking up. We were like, oh my God, it's amazing. This is just everything that we want. It's so stupid. It's great.
If you think that followed on from like the original Resident Evil, where Wesker was just a guy. He was just a guy who was kind of plotting against you a little bit, and he was a bit of a backstabber. And he got killed by a tyrant because he let it out for some reason. Like, how does it end up like that? Where he's like a monster fighting you inside a volcano?
It's because Resident Evil.
Because total world domination.
Oh, that's it. Complete global saturation.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so I haven't played in a while. Thank you. I just got pwned. Thank you, Rags.
Oh yeah, your quote off.
God damn. Okay, I fail. Pass me the drink.
I mean, I definitely play that again. That should be one we play, MauLer, for EFAP gaming.
5 or
5.
Yeah. We keep saying we will. We will. There's lots of things we say that we will do, and we eventually do them.
Yeah, 5 in co-op would be fun.
It is actually a lot of fun. I played that with a friend of mine, and I will never forget. There's that one scene where it's kind of like this tribal village kind of thing, and you have to pull yourself across the water on this raft, and then there's quick time events where you got to avoid the crocodile that's in the water. I wasn't fast enough. The crocodile got me, and I died. And the sound of my friend's laughter, like just filling my headphones.
One of my video intros is that happening. But the buddy I was playing with, he didn't quick time event when he needed to. And it just so happens that right as the gator grabbed him and was pulling him down, he disconnected from the game, and it said your friend disconnected or something like that. And it was fun. Video intros.
Wow.
It does seem like that's games like that are a pretty quick way to fall out with your friends. You know, because they rely on pretty tight cooperation.
Absolutely. All I will say is that the fight between Wesker, Jill, and yourself, like that one where I've only got like 7 minutes to play with you. If you play that on professional mode, it is downright abusive. Like there's difficult and then there is profanely abusive, and that's exactly what that is.
Because you've got Wesker and Jill to deal with, haven't you?
That's
and he
right.
can basically teleport wherever he wants.
True, but when Jill grabs you, like there's that important thing, you know, you're supposed to hold her down or something so that.
Oh yeah, you can kill it, can't you, by accident?
Well, you have to distract her long enough so that one of you can hold her arms behind her, and then you've got to hit her with the antidote virus, whatever. But when you play it on professional mode, they drop the timer down, so you have to be so fast as soon as you see the prompt come up, and if you don't get it, you're dead. So try it. I mean, play it on co-op and do it professional mode.
I could see the frustration building for sure. Oh wait, super chats. That was a thing that I was doing.
Terrible YouTuber.
I know. So sloppy. Right. JC Miller says, I recently found your channel and absolutely loved it. Where have you been all my life? I've been waiting, JC Miller, just waiting for my chance. Culture Casino, congratulations to one of the few voices of reason left on this planet. Drinker, I hope this buys you at least one. One could not ask for a better panel to celebrate. Hail, cheers. Hail Andre, Doomcock, Gary, MauLer, and Rags. Cool.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I wasn't sure if I could actually have everyone on at the same time. I don't know if that would just overwhelm StreamYards or whatever, but I thought it was better to keep it down to a manageable level. Zach Zalak says, congrats on leveling up, Drinker, and cheers to Gary and Doomcock. Just here to suggest an old school anime that I think you'd dig. Golgo 13, The Professional. Okay, I'm not familiar with that myself.
I am not either.
Yeah. Fruit Loop says, the Drinker, Gary, and Doomcock on one stream. It's not even my birthday. Hail. Well, now it is. That's so Skaven. Star Wars, The Rise of Joel. Yeah.
Oh, no. Leave Joel alone.
Not Joel. Thanks a lot. Says, hey there, Drinker. I can't stay for the entire stream, but I just wanted to thank you for all the entertaining videos and live streams. Congratulations on 500k. Well, thank you very much. Joe Mashin says, can't stay for the stream, so I'll just say congratulations, Drinker. Hail to all the guests, and thank you for making 2020 better. Raises a glass to all of you. Oh, and it's a rhino milk glass.
Hey.
Oh, beautiful. That's So Skaven also says, Star Wars, The Rise of Jurassic Park. Similar. Yep.
Yeah.
Juggler of Worlds. It would be delicious irony if Kennedy's input was to push Cara Dune's character to be a more prominent role. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I mean, everyone's concerned that they're going to kill her now, right? Just because of this.
But is that too recent to kill her?
Oh, not in the
incorporate that into the script.
Like season 3, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll see. I'm sure Gino will find other things to do anyway. Larry, Wattime 23 and Culture Casino all gave me super stickers, so thank you very much for you guys. Oscar Meyer says, we march for Phantom Menace and we know no fear. Good. Lieutenant Netjack says, only a retcom erasing the whole Disney trilogy can work at this point. No Rise of Skywalker cut will ever make up for TLJ or Force Awakens. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I did hear you guys talking about that. I agree. I don't understand how you could possibly have a Rise of Skywalker cut that would rescue the sequel trilogies. Like, how?
I think even Andre was like, look, the Rise of Skywalker Lucas cut is like a marginal improvement. It doesn't like undo the problems of the previous movies. It's less shit than what we got in the theatrical version.
Yeah, I can agree that there'll be degrees of shit. It's just like, goddamn, what a trilogy to inherit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, genuinely, I think for any of us, if you'd given us the reins of Star Wars for Rise of Skywalker and says, like, you know, TFA and TLJ have happened, you've got free reign to do whatever you want to try and fix it. like I think all of us would really struggle. It's like, yeah, you've
I would
destroyed so many things.
The text scroll would have one sentence, and it would just say "I'm sorry," and then the film would just so that you.
What really happened was,
yeah, forget everything you've seen in the past 2 movies. That was a fever dream.
And then
Ray, Luke being crazy. Oh, that was nuts, wasn't it? Anyway, here's the real story.
Anyway, what a crazy nightmare. Yeah, Luke wakes up in his Jedi temple surrounded by students, and he's restarting the Jedi Order, and things are great.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we joke, that's kind of what you would have to do to like try and salvage it. Like, just forget the rest of it happened.
Questions, you always assume that the spirit of the question is like you have to keep what they've done. You can't just retcon it. But of course, like legitimately, if I was allowed to, I would. I don't see why anybody wouldn't.
Yeah.
While I was doing some work today for Mando, and I needed to get a picture of a timeline. And so there's a lot of different Star Wars timeline images that are out there, and some of them are. Well, one of them was the one that Disney Plus put out, and it had the whole timeline. And for a lot of these tweets, people are like, "Lol, I fixed it for you," and it's the same thing except with no sequel trilogy at the end. Like, people really, really don't like these movies.
I've noticed that. Have you guys noticed that?
It's a funny thing that creeps up. You know, it's almost like that's why all of us have done so well. Like,
yeah, people hate
one of the
it.
major reasons.
Oh, dude, it was great getting that first video out and knowing there was a shit ton of people who felt the same way, because it was like, oh god, I'm not crazy. TLJ was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I appreciate
absolutely.
like as a non-biased third-party listener, that's why I've appreciated every single one of your channels, like, and also your collective EFAPs. It's like, holy crap, I found people that are actually, I agree with everything that they're saying. Thank you for noticing what a shit show this was. So I'm
The
just
thing is, like loads did. It's just like, we've had enough. This is shit. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, because I mean, if you hadn't gone on YouTube for it, and you just like read sort of mainstream journalists reviewing these movies, like their takes were all like, well, this is the way Star Wars is now, and it's gone in a bold new direction, and it's smart, and it's creative, and if you don't like it, you're just clinging to the past, and you can't handle what it's become now. And
yeah, man, do you
wow,
remember
what way to demoralize people.
Ryan had saved it. Ryan had reinvented it. Ryan had taken Star Wars to the next level. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah, and that's genuinely, for me, that was the point where I was like, okay, am I losing my mind? Like, am I just missing something that other people are seeing?
Many
and then
were born that day.
Yeah, but then you go online, you see people like you guys talking about it, and it's like, oh, okay, no, yeah, it's not just me. There is a legit problem with this, and these guys are like laying out the reasons it's a problem, like concisely and really articulately, and it helps to make sense of it. And yeah, probably it's helped a lot of fans of the series just make peace with what's happened and understand, like, yeah, they're not crazy, they're not on their own.
To be fair, I was mildly entertained by The Force Awakens. I thought it had some pretty visuals in it. It introduced us to some new characters, and I was like, okay, I'll allow myself to see where this is going. In the end, left you this climax. She finally sees Luke, and then what was the second one? The Last Jedi? No, God.
Yeah, I think they described TFA well when they said it was fool's gold.
Right.
It was easy to get taken in by the shine of it and think that it was something like halfway decent. But then the moment you probed any deeper and you actually looked into how it was constructed and what was involved in it, then you realized, oh no, this is awful.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if it makes sense that I would say this, but yeah, TFA's got some problems.
Well, yeah.
Really, MauLer? Like,
I
always thought you were a supporter of it.
I was, and then I decided to really, pay attention. That's one of the biggest kryptonite of a lot of modern movies. Pay attention, as opposed to, hey, Millennium Falcon's flying, yay!
Yay! Clap! Oh, it's right there! Yay! Millennium Falcon! Oh, it's Han Solo! It's Chewbacca! Lightsaber!
Han Solo's Debbie Dab. What the fuck?
I think my standards were pretty low when the movie came out. All I wanted to see were lightsabers and X-wing fighters, and just dazzle me with some special effects.
Yeah, I fully admit I was tricked. I was dazzled. I was like, "Yay, this is fun! I like this."
And for that
Yeah.
reason alone, like Rogue One was entertaining. I just remember the end battle sequence. I just thought the visuals were very spectacular, and that's where I'll leave it.
Rogue One is a funny one because it's like one of those movies that, like, out of all the things that Disney have produced for Star Wars, it's like the one that people don't really talk about that much. They're kind of like, the mainline movies were terrible. Like Solo was a massive failure, but Rogue One was just like meh. It was like, yeah,
I mean,
okay. It was a
Yeah, you find a
film.
lot of people saying they liked it, they hated it, they thought it was fine. It's very, I find, mixed within our communities, if you know what I mean, because it's hard to find someone saying I like The Last Jedi in our communities, but there's plenty of people who like Rogue One.
Yeah,
I would be interested
fine
to
with
do
it.
like a proper breakdown video on it and really look at it again.
I think I'm not motivated to, like, I don't have the passion to deal with Rogue One, It's like, it's there, it's probably fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Again, that's the reaction people get. It's like I don't hate it enough to like want to trash it, and I don't love it, so I want to really defend it. I'm just like, yeah, it was a Star Wars film.
Yep.
That had some Star Warsy stuff in it. That's it. That'll do.
And it had Darth Vader at the end.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. Chop those rebels down. Do it.
Yeah. That was enjoyable to see. It really was. Paul from Norway here says, Andre, why do you have a fucking horns on your helmet? Are you not a Viking? P.S. I love you from Norway. Well, I'm sure if Andre's watching the replay of this, he's very touched by that, and he loves you too. Rhett One says, "Hail drink."
Very glad you complimented his horns.
Exactly. Yeah, he's horny.
How they say hello over there?
Yeah, how do you say hello in Norway? In
Oh,
Norwegian.
nice the horns.
It's Guten Tag, for sure. Yep. Or bonjour.
Oh,
It's one of those.
Guten horns.
Guten Morgen.
Guten horns.
Rhett One here says, "Hail Drinker, congrats on the 500k. Thank you. It's fun to be here." Sporking News Podcast. We will find out that the Mandalorian is a failed Palpatine clone.
Sweet. That'll improve it, I'm sure.
It's one of the Snokes that escaped from his jar and then just put a helmet on and became like
Get
the
back in your
Mandalorian.
jar.
Yeah, we're gonna eat you later.
Full Snoke escaping from his jar. Like, let me go.
I just want to live.
I want to be the leader of the huge galactic force.
Body by Tacos, give me a super sticker, so thanks very much. Evan Remillard, holy crap, my 4 favorite YouTubers in one stream, and my birthday isn't until December, and I don't even know which 4 that's referring to, because this was from a while ago, so it could be any of us. But I'm going to say it's for you 3 guys.
Oh.
Well, thank you.
Tim Jim here says, I have a sister with the name of Tatiana. Every time you mention her name in your videos, I laugh and cringe and vomit a little. Congrats on 500k. Thank you very much. Tatiana is pleased also. I'll make sure she's pleased after tonight.
Just
Stephen
remember
Austin.
the social distancing there, Drinker. Come on.
I'll put my mask on for it. It makes it
right,
more interesting as well. Stephen Otten here says, release the Lucas cut. Yeah.
Who
knows?
The Lucas cut. If y'all are talking about a Lucas cut of the Rise of Skywalker, I don't think one exists. I don't think they let him go anywhere near it.
I mean,
apparently, according to them, there was evidence of that. I don't know. It just seems unlikely to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, if I was to just take it on like layman's knowledge, I'd be like, no, there's no way he got involved and he was rewriting scenes and
he got his own cut.
Yeah, like they wouldn't let him have that level of involvement. But then we've got like guys like Andre and Doomcock who are saying like, yeah, from verified sources, they're saying that it does exist and it was shot. I just don't know how extensive it is and how much of it was actually him.
Yeah, that's not a rumor. I think I buy, maybe, but yeah, I don't know if I buy that one.
There's just too much wrong with the entire movie. Like, what could you possibly edit in it?
Well, there's tons that you could edit. I just don't know if Disney would give him that much, input and say into the movie to where he has his own cut of it.
Right.
Yep. Because you could let him loose in the editing bay, and it's like, okay, with whatever we've produced in terms of like raw footage and special effects, see if you can like release a different edit. But the idea that they would let him write new scenes and film stuff, and even potentially have CGI that he's doing himself or that he's commissioned himself, like, yeah, that just seems pretty far-fetched. That's like allowing him to make a whole new movie with your money, basically,
with your IP.
Yeah. So yeah, if it does exist, I'd be really interested to know what it is and like what's so different about it.
I would love to see it. I just don't think it exists. If one turns out, I'll be a happy doggo if I'm wrong on this one, but it just seems unlikely to me.
Yeah.
But that'll be a fun EFAP movies. Check out George Lucas's Rise of Skywalker.
God damn, it can't be any worse than Knives Out anyway. Captain Squire here says, any chance to get a hold of Major Grin? Have you seen some of the amazing CGI recreations from Neon Visual? Could easily revive Star Trek. Have you guys had Major Grin on EFAP?
I don't recognize the name, so probably not.
No. Yeah. Not too familiar myself. Would you wish it? Congrats, Shrinker. You drunkenly stumbled across the perfect combination of humor and sagacious analysis. FYI, it might be worth looking at Enter the Dragon for a future episode of Production Hell. Oh, okay. Was that a particularly hard movie to make? I don't know enough about it. I was going to cover Waterworld, actually, as like a horrible movie that was like a total nightmare to shoot. But I'll keep that in mind as well. Ken in the North says, congrats on 500k. You're an inspiration to aspiring authors and heavy imbibers alike. Well, thank you very much. And yeah, if you're writing a book, then I hope you get around to finishing it, and I hope you have good luck with it. It's a hell of a long process, trust me, but it's definitely worth it. Vic Von Doom, congratulations on the 500k subs. Here's a swig to purchase another 500k. Cheers. Thank you. Alien Xenomorph. YouTuber Mika Curtis calls you the critical grifter. Oh, brutal.
Critical grifter? What are you grifting? Exactly.
That's the new
I don't know.
For literally every creator on the platform at this point. Like, if you
see how it applies to us.
If you make, well, because the idea is that we don't actually believe anything we're saying.
Oh, really?
I know, right?
Wow, all of these arguments we've been putting forth, it's all lies?
Yeah, well, we're trying to capitalize on hate money.
Well, you guys had me fooled. Damn.
That's the thing.
Well, I mean, I can confidently predict I'm going to waste approximately 0 seconds worrying what Mika Curtis thinks about me. So, whatever, man. Pat Kinch says, I can't wait for the live-action Toy Story. That would be horrifying. Is it going to be shot for shot, or is he going to be black?
Dude, actually playing him as well or something.
No, it'll be Tessa Thompson playing every role.
Yeah.
Stunningly diverse. Yeah. Yeah, the idea of a live action Toy Story, that sounds terrifying. Tricky Dicky says, kudos to you, mate. I thought Why the Past Matters was outstanding. The best video I had ever seen that sums up what is wrong with modern society. Oh yeah, that was when they were talking about like censoring Gone with the Wind and all that sort of thing. And I was just like, sorry, I lost you there for a second.
I was just saying I didn't know they'd done that. I mean, I'm not surprised though.
I think they wanted to censor it or ban it even because, it's got a lot of references to slavery and all that sort of thing. And depictions of people of color that they didn't like, doesn't gel with modern. You know, who would have thought that a movie made like 80 years ago would not hold up to modern standards?
Oh man, can you believe it? That's unacceptable.
I was
It's
shocked.
racist.
I really was. But I think there was such a backlash against censoring it or removing it that it just got left. And I think they just put a little disclaimer on the start of it. Like, you might get upset by this if you're an asshole. WhatM23 gave me a super sticker. Thank you very much. KLR Zumi says, just found out Diana Rigg passed. Rest in peace. Emma Peel was such a badass character with actual class. Yeah, so Diana Rigg from Game of Thrones, dead.
Oh, wow.
Shame. That was a few days ago, actually, now. It's kind of come and gone. But yeah. I never really... What was Emma Peel in again? Was it the Avengers? Like
I think
the
so.
1960s Avengers. I think so.
That's some old shit, man. But she was fantastic as the Queen of Thorns.
Yeah. Tyrone Beard, hail Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth. Hail Gary and the Drinker. Hail chat and congrats on 500k. Sorry, 500k. You see unit, 500,000. Wow, beat boop bop. Yeah. Never managed to get Gina Carano on tonight, sadly.
Damn it.
Well, we
Maybe
definitely applaud your effort. Gina Carano is a hero in our household, so much so that we named my wife's car Gina when we got it.
Nice.
Yeah, we've been in love with her since she was on American Gladiators. So
Man, that's a while back.
that's going back.
Yeah. But yeah, she's taking no prisoners on Twitter, so all good. Peter Slaby gave me $2, so thank you. And Peking Psyduck gave me $100 towards the Talisker fund, so thank you very much, man. That'll buy a couple of bottles. Who Time 23 says, congrats, Drinker, for your achievement so far. On to the next 500k. I'll do my best. Louis the Plank, Drinker, Gary, Doomcock, and Andre all together. Awesome A+ panel, guys. Well, you didn't even get to see MauLer and Rags and Danquish coming in, so.
Oh man, even better.
Yeah. Those guys were they were like the prototypes for you guys, so there you go. Selix S says, thoughts on Cuties? I recently watched Blackfish. If the new Cuties crew made that film, they would have killed and abused a few orcas to make the point that killing and abusing orcas is bad. Yeah, that pretty much seems to sum it up. I haven't seen Cuties, and I ain't going to watch it, and I'm not going to be reviewing it. I just don't want to get involved in that shit. But I wouldn't really encourage anyone else to watch it either, particularly.
Yeah, I'm going to be skipping that one.
There's a part of me that thinks it's a part of some nefarious plot. It's a scheme to catch pedophiles. You know, they'll know if you've seen it, and then sooner or later, you know, the FBI is going to come to your door. But,
well, they know. All I did was watch Cuties 20 today.
Oh,
yeah. It was supposed to be about how bad it is. I don't know, but yeah.
Off you go.
Yeah, I'm just I've got no interest in watching it anyway, so just let that one slide. 52 movies a year says it's now the critical midnight nerdrotic cock stream. Yeah, we're gonna have to find up a name that combines everything. Marcus Caro says, I live behind enemy lines on the West Coast. I've watched friends turn into SJW morons. Watching The Drinker, Nerdrotic, and the Overlord makes us feel less alone. You're doing a man's job, sirs. Well, we try to entertain. And I'm sure Rags and MauLers do as well. You know, you guys aren't bad at it, I suppose. You know, I've chuckled occasionally at your videos. I hate to admit that. Ransom G.
I've personally pounded my fist against the table and like in total like solidarity with all of your videos. Like MauLer, I thank you for the exhaustive detail you go into yours. Like you just long form it, and it's just really such a joy to listen to. So thank you.
Thank goodness someone else likes it, because I'm not stopping. Like, yeah.
Did you have any thoughts on doing a sort of unbridled rage on Knives Out, or are you going to let that go for now?
Last of Us 2's kind of it crashed into view because I got more pissed off with it. Knives Out isn't really something I'm pissed off at, but I do want to make the video on that to be like, hey, this is not as good as everyone's saying it is. It makes no fucking sense at all. But I want to do The Last of Us 2 first, so now I'm not entirely sure my schedule is outside of being The Last of Us 2 is next. Because obviously TFA Part 4 is going to roll around eventually too. Let's just say I've got plenty to do. I'm stocked up.
Okay. Yeah, it's you know, I imagine your videos do take a very long time to produce. You know, they're worth it when you get the final result, but it must be kind of frustrating where it's like you've got like so many different things that you want to cover, but it's like you know how much is involved in like producing one video for it.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what EFAP is for. It's like I get to cover a lot of stuff quickly or in different ways. So that's a bit of a, you know, reprieve. Like
I don't know why you don't just sit down in front of your webcam for 15 minutes and just shit out whatever comes to your mind.
Wow, that is a great idea. There are no channels like that on YouTube.
Yeah, it's really high quality entertainment that when people do that. Yeah, I was going to say as well, Rags, like, you know, like it's been a while since I've seen like a sort of new piece of like content from you. Like you've kind of covered a lot of stuff in the past that I've really enjoyed. You know, like
yeah, I'm getting back into it, working on something now, but
Rags is gonna fucking red pill everybody on Mandalorian definitively. He's gonna prove that shit. No more excuses.
I would for sure watch that because I genuinely would like to see some takes on it that I could really get into.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any. I haven't really been watching around other reviews. That's kind of on my to-do list, but I'm curious if I'm going to be the one shitting on it. I'm going to be that guy. He's like, oh, he's the one review of it that's really, really bad.
I feel like everyone wants to shit on it, but they're all scared to. You know what I mean? Like it's like we've got something that's marginally tolerable from Star Wars, and like we're so scared to break it that we're like, oh, I don't want to criticize it too much. But I kind of know deep down that it's not all that good. It's just kind of tolerable.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, and I understand why people really like it. It's bad in an inoffensive way that a lot of, you know, like the sequels are just horrible in their badness with, you know, what they destroy.
All the sequels seem malicious.
Yeah, Mandalorian is a self-contained narrative disaster. So,
that's a good way
Except
of looking at it.
Fob.
Yeah, the fobs create issues, but other than that, it's mostly all right.
Ransom G here says we should start referring to the drinker with the prefix international sex symbol, like how they give knights of the Sir prefix in the UK. Drinker needs to join Rich Evans in those ranks. I don't. I'm not quite at Rich Evans level. Yeah, international sex symbol. That's where I'm going to go by now.
And rightfully so.
Can I have that as my pronoun on Twitter? Just
do it.
International sex symbol.
I'd buy that.
Yeah, I'll just go with that. Do it. Yeah, I can be what I want to be.
Right.
Andrew Ward's donated $5, so thanks, man. Trina Guthridge, have any of y'all seen a movie called Mind Melds, where Shatner and Nimoy interview each other? It was awesome. Congrats, Drinker. No, I've not seen that one.
No.
Mind Melds. Is it like some kind of documentary type thing? I don't know. Yeah, not heard of it.
It's a documentary interview sort of thing, I guess.
Yeah. Stephen Otten says, plus Gina Carano has a great left hook. Yeah, I'm sure she does. I wouldn't want to fight her, that's for sure.
Nope.
Ben McGuire says, love your work, Drinker. Cheers, dude. Thanks, man. Nathan T. Drinker, you should read Expeditionary Force by Craig Allenson. It's not as optimistic as Star Trek, but it has many similarities, and that's by design. Okay. So Expeditionary Force. Cool. Wicked Person says, will Gina Carano now get cancelled from The Mandalorian? Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
We'll have to see.
Season 3, who knows?
I hope not. I wish that girl a long life.
It's incredible how quickly they dump the women's empowerment thing.
Seriously.
She said the wrong stuff.
Yeah. She went against the mob. Get her with the mob. Yeah, it's just, yeah. I hope she just carries on taking names on Twitter. Like, Curtis D says, Drinker, what are your 10 whiskeys and top 10 hard alcohols? My wife says hello and says congrats. Well, hello to your wife and congratulations to her. 10 whiskeys. I don't think I can name 10, like my top 10. That would take probably too long right now. Right now, Lagavulin is probably my top one. And it goes down pretty damn well. I know you guys, like MauLer, I don't think you're a particularly big whiskey drinker. Rags, I'm going to guess that you're not really either.
I'm not really a liquor drinker. I'll have, I've got a Wild Turkey bourbon in the freezer, and that's really all I've got in terms of the hard stuff. Beers I'll do. I like beer. Some beer's great.
Beer's good. It's just, it takes a while. It takes quite a long time. You know, if you're drinking to get drunk, it's like you're going to be at it all night with beer.
Well, I like the taste, and it's good.
Yeah.
It's nice and unique with how it all happens in there. But yeah, when I got slammered on Metal Stream, it was that bourbon. I was just fucking loving it. I was going for it. I was like,
what kind of bourbon?
Whatever that Wild Turkey honey stuff is, I really like it. Super smooth, very delish.
Can I recommend one to you?
Nope.
I'm just going to pour myself another drink right now.
All right.
I need to pop out, I'm afraid, but it has been all of the funs, Mr. Drinker, and I look forward to the next time we cross paths.
It has been funtisms, Mr. Longman. Thank you.
When I eventually get to Knives Out, you're welcome to have a cameo in it if you want.
What now? What's this?
When I eventually get to Knives Out, we could set up a cameo for you if you want.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, you've been good enough to lend your voice to a couple of my videos, so I'm happy to return the favor. So yeah, no, that'd be good, man. But yeah, thank you very much for coming in tonight. It's always good to talk to you, and thank you for giving up a bit of time this evening.
Yeah, no problem. It's been good stuff, and I'm really happy for you, man. 500,000. Your voice is getting louder, telling more people about how shitty movies are. It's always good.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to do.
Yeah, good stuff. I'll catch you around, all of you. I'll see you around.
Good night.
All right, thanks, bud.
Bye.
Bye. It's probably a good thing that he brought it up because I was getting engrossed in our little chat shit, but I should probably head out myself. He sort of snapped me out of the enamored daze that I was in.
No, I appreciate it, Rex.
Life goes on. I wish I could stay in chat about all the things that have been ruined lately, but bodily needs, unfortunately.
There is just so many of them. I think, to be honest, what I'm going to do is like a follow-up stream where I do the remaining super chats because they're coming in too fast for me to do, and it's going to be like 4 a.m. or something by the time I get through them all. So yeah, it's too much to kind of cover in one stream, I think. But yeah, likewise with MauLer, man. Thank you very much for coming on this stream tonight. I really appreciate it, and honestly, I'm looking forward to your next video when you get it done, man.
It feels good to be working again. It feels good to be just working on videos and doing stuff, and it feels nice to be productive.
Yeah.
So hopefully soonish that'll be out. Probably next month, I'm thinking. I'm going to try to make this a big one, MauLer style, dare I say. So we'll see how that goes. And I'll catch y'all later. It was a great chat shit.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Bye. Goodbye, Drinker, Danquish.
Have a good night, sir.
Do.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. Well, I think it's just the two of us. Like I was saying, I think what I'm going to do, because there's probably realistically more super chats than I can get through this evening, and I want to give them proper attention. What I will probably do is set up another live stream tomorrow where I can cover all of the remaining super chats and give them the attention they deserve, and I'll just re-upload that. And yeah, it's gonna avoid like this kind of going on for like hours and hours and hours. But what I do want to do is just say a big thank you to everyone in chat. Like I say, everyone whose super chats I haven't covered yet, I will cover. And yeah, I really appreciate everyone's generosity and their donations, and all the people that have helped to get me up to 500,000 subscribers. That's not a bad milestone in my book. And one of the great things about doing that is, I've had the opportunity to chat with guys like Gary, Doomcock, MauLer, Rags, Danquish, like a guy that I just met through my channel and stuff. All of you guys have been totally awesome. And it's a pretty supportive, positive environment amongst creators on YouTube, at least the people that I've dealt with. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about it.
I mean, if I haven't said it already, our deepest congratulations to you. I mean, we've been following you since, early last year, and have just been, really happy to see your meteoric rise. And we had some friends over on Saturday to watch a movie, and I said, before we begin, you guys need to see The Critical Drinker. So I showed them the video that started it all, the Captain Marvel video, and they were just they were like, why have we not seen this channel before? So I made 4 new converts. So I was proud to do my part.
No, thank you, man. And I know we've done a couple of streams where we talked about things like Predator 2 and Aliens and stuff, and yeah, honestly, they've been great fun. Just to talk about movies that we both enjoyed, and sort of you and I, we never met each other, and we're from different sides of the world, but we can take something like a movie like that we've both enjoyed, and we've had the same experience and talk about the same sort of things that we've noticed. I think that's pretty cool. That's the power of entertainment that can bring people together, and there's something really good about that. Something kind of wholesome about it, and that's what I kind of want to keep appreciating, I suppose.
Well, like someone said earlier, I mean, it lets a listener know that they're not alone in the world. Kind of makes the world a smaller place. Be like, hey, I agree with that guy. Yeah,
and it's what makes it fun. So it's like I say, I've enjoyed chatting with you, and I'm sure we'll do a few more in future. We've got a few things lined up. So
you mentioned earlier that you're going to be discussing Face Off with Gary, and I'm just like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, he got there ahead of you.
I'd love to talk about that one, but
I think we were going to cover Soldier, weren't we, with Kurt Russell?
Yeah,
so that's another good movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for now, I'll probably close it up there. Like I say, all the other super chats that I haven't addressed yet, I will cover them in another stream tomorrow. But for now, that's all I've got for today. And that's me going to go away now.